coolest podcast in the world, man. We're back, man. This is gonna be like the first ever. Yeah, this is not even like an interview. This is just like a discussion, man. You feel me? We have the good brother making a triumphant return. You feel me,
Yes,
right?
sir. Yes,
You
sir.
feel me? Listen, man. We seen the views of the news go up when y'all was on, man. So folks are responding back, man. They love the discussion. I even got a text like mid interview, man. Like mid news where you see yo fire cast, man, fire. You feel me? So like folks are responding well to you guys, man. You feel me? And I feel like Brandon and Gorilla Hebrew, man, y'all both come from two different, well, not two environments, but like two different places.
Hmm.
Y'all have like two different beliefs. You feel me? And I feel like a discussion will probably, just clarify more about in Hebrew Israelites. You feel me?
Okay.
So first off, man, where are you from? Like your background?
Me, initially my family come from Haiti. I grew up on the West Coast. Was
Yeah.
born in Tacoma, Washington. Moved to California when I was 12.
Yeah.
Bounced around from L.A., Orange County, and San Diego. So I'm just well cultured in the West Coast as far as my upbringing. I live in Atlanta now, though.
Okay. And where are you from, Brandon?
From Long Beach, California, the East Side specifically. Never really lived anywhere else. Just out the country for a little bit, and then just back to the city.
Man, here, man. So, but the first question that I do want to pose right now is, and whoever wants to like take it first can take it, man. Is Hebrew Israelite a cult?
We was powers on this earth once, and we was all about the mirth once. Idol worship, murder like the first of the month. Hit a nigga with the bit like he need a light. That's what you do when you on fourth, or else you got a punt. But we ain't needed when we cry for Egypt's flesh, nah. So it's Egypt that we got, and we hella mad. These crackers soaring off our shoulders like some helipads. They see our sweat, but they don't feel us like we holograms. I'll be damned, another black man shot again. They deflect and tell us we are on.
Shalom, shalom. Shalom, family. Like, share, and subscribe. Let's get everybody in here. Let's get everybody in the building. We got Tina J in the building. Shalom to you, sis. We got Roxy Judah Tribe in the building. Shalom to you, sister. We got Captain Azariah. He gonna be coming through as well. All praises to the Most High. Shalom, shalom, shalom. Let's get these likes up, man. I found this discussion to be interesting. One, because I never want to miss a Gorilla Hebrew debate. And two, I love listening to the pan-Africanism versus Hebrew Israelite discussions. But what tickled me the most about this discussion is this man's opposition to us is based on Christian dogma. And I want to say that that's the mistake that everybody that makes that comes against us. Either they're too deep in the dogmas of the Christian church as Christians, and they can't see the forest for the trees. In fact, they're not even able to acknowledge that there is a forest. You see what I'm saying? It's just the Christmas tree. Anyway, the same situation here with the brother that's dealing with the pan-Africanism. He can't see the forest for the trees either because he is against Christianity. He associates everything biblical with Christianity, and he's not studied enough on the subject, but he fixed his mouth on a pretty large platform, over 1 million subscribers over at No Jumper. And he fixed his mouth to say some things. And I just wanted to kind of count with y'all how many times this brother lies. So let's play a game, chat. When we get all the brothers and sisters in here, let's play a game. And every time you hear this man lie, I want you to we're going to keep a tally. You know what I'm saying? When we see number one, we're going to put number one. When we see number two, we're going to put number two. And let's just see how many lies we end up at by the time this live stream is over. We might not review the whole video. We might. Who knows? We might share a link. We might not. Who knows? We'll just see how it goes. But without further ado, the question that was posed to both Gorilla Hebrew and the dude whose channel is Pan-Africanism Strikes Back, his name is Brandon. They were asked, are the Hebrew Israelites a cult? You know, we're commonly called this just based on the negative connotation. And let's just see how it starts off. We got Yakanan in the building. We got Lily in the building now. Shalom, shalom. It's so good to see y'all, especially after my little break from the live streams. Just had to take a step back to get my health on point. But it's good to see y'all.
I would say that Hebrew Israelite is not a cult, but there are cults amongst the Hebrew Israelite community for sure. It's really kind of like an overarching ideology, and there's various different variations, beliefs, nuances to each, but there are definitely a lot of cults amongst the Israelite community for 1,000%.
Sure.
All religions are cults.
Okay.
They're all focused on a central figure. So if Jesus Christ is your Lord and Savior, and you get up every Sunday to go shake your ass in the church for him.
Now, right here, this is funny. The family unit. Who's the central figure in the family unit? Let's see your take in the chat. And is your family unit a cult? You know what I'm saying? These little rules and regulations are funny. Is your family unit a cult? The nuclear family. Let's see what the chat says. Used to be grandma, so you would like, Big Mama, right? So if Big Mama's the central figure in your family, does that mean your family's a cult? It's supposed to be the dad. The word Abba, it literally means head house, head of house. You know what I'm saying? When you go all the way back to the pictographic language that the Hebrew comes from, the Proto-Semitic, you have an ox head and you have a literal house, right? And that's where you get Abba from. Head of house. So that's the proper central figure. Is the nuclear household then a cult? I doubt that we'd be able to get that deep with a brother like this. But from culture to culture, you know what I'm saying? You peep that word culture to culture. That's where we get culture from, is words like cult. But we're going to be too long-winded, man. We're going to let this play. But that's just automatically right there. I know that's a contradiction in his logic, because Big Mama's probably the central figure in this brother's household.
Yeah.
You're in a cult because there's a central figure, and that figure is emphasized as the end-all, be-all of all knowledge and understanding.
Okay. And what's your definition of a cult?
Exactly what I said.
What?
Anything that basically
He's about to
revolves
get
around
cold
a
in
central
here.
figure that is the end-all, be-all of all knowledge and understanding.
Yeah.
Nobody knows more than Jesus. Nobody does it better than Jesus.
Yeah.
Jesus is the way, the truth, and the light. Like, that is there's no equal, no equivalent to that.
Yeah.
Everything starts and ends with that figure.
And like, does that stop at Jesus, or do you feel like God, right? Like, can God be like the central figure without being a cult?
Well, these people think that Jesus is God. A lot of people think that.
Okay.
So I think any religion is like that. Like, Buddhists have Buddha.
Yeah.
He's the pinnacle of wisdom and knowledge. You have some religions that have multiple deities, but there's always still a one that's at the top of the hierarchy.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a cult. If you have religion, you are in a form of a cult.
All right. So when you say, like, there are some aspects of a cult in terms of Hebrew Israelites, what did you mean by that?
Well, his definition, he's correct in what he said.
Yeah.
Because what a cult actually is just what he said.
Okay.
In modern terms now, people use it only to mean something negative.
Okay,
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So what I said it was in that aspect where there are offshoots, fringe groups amongst the overarching Hebrew Israelite identity that function how we would look at a cult in a modern context.
Man, and do y'all believe that Jesus is God?
No, we don't like the Trinity. No, we vehemently stand against
Alan Cupid, Shalom.
Now,
Yaquab, Shalom.
what do you feel like Jesus' racial identity is, right? Because I have heard like some people in these like street interviews say that
His word's about to start getting spooky.
we believe that emphatically predicated upon what the primary source about Jesus' life is, which is the Bible, the New Testament, is the primary source about his life historically. So it describes him physically as a black man, and then there's additional historical information that gives insight on the racial identity or the appearance of the Jews of the first century, and even going back before that.
Right. So for the people who say, "Yo, Jesus is from the Middle East. He's not black." Like, what's the response like that proves no, he's black?
Well, I like to ask a question. Number one is that 2,000 years ago, the predominant race of people in the United States of America were Native Americans.
Sure.
They're not the predominant group of people here. So when you take a look at 1,000 years, pointing to the people who are in a particular region at one time has no indication at what it looked like 2,000 years ago, right?
Yeah.
So we're talking about somebody who lived 2,000 years ago. On top of that, conceptually, the Middle East is a political region that's a modern invention.
Sure.
So in antiquity, the Middle East was not even a concept, right?
Okay.
So we have to actually look at who lived where. So if we follow the biblical narrative and that corresponds with history, you had African people, Ethiopians, all the way far past damn near to India, establishing kingdoms all the way there. So past where Jesus is from, black people already had empires.
Shalom.
Came about. So to say that a Middle Eastern person is a monopoly on a phenotype of a modern day Arab is just totally historically inaccurate.
Sure.
Now, I agree. I agree to this. You know, you cannot pinch one phenotype and say this is the Middle Eastern phenotype. Why can I say that? Well, let me share my screen. Who's heard of an Afro-Arab? If we just play with the word Arab a little bit. Who's heard of the word Afro-Arab? Look at this. AI will tell you, and we'll look a little bit deeper at it, but so black Middle Easterners, also known as Afro-Arabs or African Arabs, are people with significant or total sub-Saharan African ancestry. They are found in many countries in the Middle East and North Africa. So now the conversation is already stupid. And when you see where this brother goes with it, you're going to understand what I'm saying. This is where the conversation starts to go stupid. I, of course, agree with Grla Hebrew, like all Hebrew Israelites, I believe, would probably side with the brother's argumentation 100%. Look at where are Afro-Arabs found? Gulf states, Oman, Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, the United Arab Emirates, Arabian Peninsula, that's including Yemen, Qatar, you know, Bahrain, Lebanon, Syria, Palestine, Jordan, Iraq, Libya. But if I go back further, I can show you what the cults of Canaan were doing when they would deify their people, when they would deify their leaders. They would make ivory masks showing you very clearly what these people look like. And they look like the sub-Saharan African. Talking about the thick nose, the thick lips, you know, the stereotypical phenotype for a black man and a black woman. And these ivory masks would fit the description completely and totally. So let's just watch what happens when the brother opposes Alazar's argument.
And I do know, like the Bible would say, what, like he has like a skin of copper,
hair of wool, a skin of bronze, as if it burnt in a furnace, giving an emphasis on the darkness. And then that's in Revelation 1. It reemphasizes it in Revelation 2, and then in Revelation 4 it says God Himself looks like a jasper and a sardine stone. So anybody out there can Google jasper and sardine stones. They're dark brown natural stones that exist. So it's describing the Father, God Himself, and His Son as dark skinned men.
Wait, sure, right? But do you feel like dark skin, like for example, right? When I think about black, right? Now we all have an origins back to Africa, but when I think about like skin of copper, I'm thinking about Habibi, right? You know, right? Like when I see like skin of copper, I'm automatically thinking, you know, like Habibi, or no, there's some dark skin, right? Like there's some dark skin natives, right? So I do think that we do need a little bit more than just the description, right?
Yeah.
So, in terms of historical proof, do we have historical proof that Jesus is black?
Yeah, certainly. And like you said, dealing with the natives, dealing with Arabs, you have a diversity amongst people. This idea that people, especially in Antigua, are just homogenous, that everybody just looked exactly the same.
Yeah.
If you take a look at some of the oldest depictions of Israelite people,
Kind of got Israel
you
Shalom.
see a diversity. You see people that look like me.
Why
You see people that look like
Shalom.
you. You see people that look like you. But this is all looked at as the same group of people.
Sure.
Of course, because if you have a family that then grows into a nation, you have to use other people. You have to mingle with other people in order to procreate. If you're this new group of people, right? So what happened is they were mingling with the people around them, so they had a diversity in their looks. So it could go from, again, like you all the way to me and everything in between. That's how they're depicted historically, right? So that is kind of further historical evidence as well.
All right, man. And do you, as a Pan-African, believe Jesus is black?
I believe that Jesus is an Arab person. I think he's a Palestinian Jewish person. I think he most likely looks like how those people look right now, like an Arab. I mean, if he even existed, I think that's how he would look. And the reason I think that is because there's just, when you look at the Bible and you even look at like the Israelites in Egypt, they could distinguish between an Israelite and an Egyptian, right? They say, oh, this person is an Israelite, this person is an Egyptian. If everybody looked the same, how would you even do that? How would you know just off a sight, oh, this person's one of the Hebrews, this person's one of the...
As if there aren't customs that would distinguish one people group from another people group. This is nonsensical. These arguments are childish, and you can tell he's not going in depth to endeavor to disprove or actually research this material. He's just saying things. These are very face value arguments that even if you just shut up and meditate on it for a second, you could probably debunk within yourself. But I'm going to show something else. I'll present something else. I want to share from the computer. I'm going to upload a file. Come on, man. This is what I'll do. Open that up. Bear with me, family. Trust me. Those of you that have been rocking with me for a minute, you might have seen these already. Woo. 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 Who can see this? Let me know who this look like. Does this look like Aladdin? Ali Ababa? Prince Ali? Valiant Heat? Is that who this look like right here? Let me know, chat. One's in the chat if this look like a nigga, or two's in the chat if this look like Prince Ali, or I don't know, maybe this one. One's in the chat if these look like us. Two's in the chat if these look like Halach Labach. If these look like Hussain, Salim. Well, that's interesting because look, King Katora said it looked like Asian mixed with a Hindustan, right? Then you got this other mask right here. There's diversity. Even if we can agree that these two don't look alike, these are two ivory masks, and they come from a temple in Lakesh, the Phos temple. And it's a Canaanite temple that was there before we came through and occupied it, right? But in no way does it look like Salah Salam. It doesn't look like Chach. It don't look like none of them. So now we're dealing with a conundrum. The people back then must have just looked like Arabs. Well, these people are the formidable presence in the Levant at the time. You have them, and then you had also the Philistines, who a lot of scholars would argue actually are an Egyptian offshoot, right? So what you're dealing with is those two occupying forces had to have been more than likely, if this is a deification of their leaders, they had to have been of a different phenotype than the one Brandon just described, right? This is pictographic evidence from time before the Israelites occupied Israel, debunked. But then we look at the Black Middle Easterners or Afro-Arabians, as the modern day would call them, and we see that he's still debunked. But let's hear him out.
Egyptians. It's like there were black nations at that time. You had Nubians, you had Ethiopians, you had Egyptians. If these Hebrew people were black, I think that would have been, you know, noted. You know, they and also.
Hey, power to Yahawashi Israel. He said looked like Nina Simone. She had those powerful genes. All praises to the Most High. You know what I'm saying? But not Aladdin though. Neither one of them looked like Aladdin. They didn't look like Jasmine. They didn't look like the Sultan. They didn't look like the Prophet Muhammad.
When they left Egypt, what kept them from just assimilating into any of those places? Hey, we're all black. Let's get together. I think that there were Arabs. I don't think the Arabs.
It's crazy because when you look at it's just crazy hearing these arguments. Like this is his best stuff. Like this is the stuff he's bringing out in on a platform with over 1 million followers. Is this bullshit? When you look at the pictographs of the Shemitic peoples that was wearing their fringes, right, versus the people who had their other customs of dress. While you could argue about shade, the most interesting thing about their difference was that some of them kept beards, some of them kept a similar type of hairstyle, some of them had their fringes. So there's other things you can do to distinguish yourself. We have circumcision. We have the fact that we don't shave our beards off. So you can, and other people who don't think it's clean to keep a beard. So it's safe to assume in that time, when you look at the cultural landscape, who's doing what. It's crazy. And then so when you look at these depictions and you're able to see that there are obvious stereotypes for these different people groups. So I'm gonna run it back a little bit because he's about to step in dog shit, and he's about to ruin his own argument just a touch.
If these Hebrew people were black, I think that would have been, you know, noted. You know, they and also when they left Egypt, what kept them from just.
You're crazy. The why Yeshaya said the nigga look like he can't just have just one. Well, look, man, you can't have just one. He said he look like he need to lay off the pig feet. Look, I ain't even going. I'm not even going to do it. I'm not even going to do it.
Assimilating into any of those places. Hey, we're all black. Let's get together. I think that there were Arabs. I don't think the Arabs necessarily were the dominant group in that region at the time, and I think that that's probably one of.
Man, look, shout out to our brothers across the world, even the ones who have jumped off the deep end and have gone Negro only. I'll be addressing a lot of Negro only and OT only. I'll be addressing a lot of their points coming soon. You know, some of this stuff has come with a little bit of heartbreak for me, man. I've taken some of it personally when I shouldn't. You know, these things have to happen. So I've had to kind of just remove myself a little bit because it hit me so hard that it hit me on a physical level. This whole OT only thing, as far as the recent venture off into it. You know, I love my brothers, and you know, hearing a lot of the arguments for going off into OT only, I hate to say, come from a damn. We're teaching our brothers to go out and teach. You listen to me carefully. This isn't me stuttering. We're teaching our brothers to go out and teach our brothers and our sisters to come back to the Lord and do what? Keep the laws, statutes, and commandments. And I realize that we're teaching them to go out and teach brothers to come back to the law, statutes, and commandments, but don't know the law, statutes, and commandments. Because some of the arguments that I've heard about going back to OT only, those arguments like sin offering. You know, I heard an argument about sin offering that it's supposed to be from a bullock. It hurt me so bad because it's like, bro, don't you know in the same chapter, you know, because they said, where does it say you can sacrifice a lamb for sins? And I'm like, damn, don't you know in the same chapter it tells you where a lamb without blemish come in or a goat? Hurt me so bad, but this is what happens. We put the horse before the carriage sometimes. So it's causing me to want to step back and, you know, switch the way we do things at FOG. You know, we really got brothers on a slow burn when it comes to, you know, putting them out in the streets to teach the gospel. Right now, brothers start off with flyer duty, but we're going to be ramping up the things that we're doing to equip brothers from the street corners, like getting acquainted with the necessity for Yahawashi. You know, I heard an argument that you can repent without making a sacrifice. And repentance does not require a sacrifice outside of leaving behind the sin. But atonement has always been required. You see, atonement has always been required. Does the Most High accept human sacrifices? The Most High has demanded human sacrifices. I'm gonna do it, not today, but these are the things that I'm gonna address in depth. And what we don't want to do is, you know, talk about brothers like they dog shit just because they've gone a different way. It's just that brothers are experiencing a culture shock because they I believe have not been brought up properly in the word. And what happens is we get introduced to the culture of go debate and defend what we know so fast. And we get so enamored with what it's like to go and cut people who don't believe what we believe so fast before we even secure what we believe. So I believe as a nation, we really got to slow it down and put the focus on certain things. And not everybody's going to do that. But I really would just urge everybody to slow the fuck down. You know what I'm saying? If you got doubts about Yahawashi, just slow the fuck down. You don't got to jump off you don't got to throw the baby out with the bathwater. You just got to get reacquainted with that Torah because somebody can come along. Somebody can come along and tell you something that sounds like it contradicts your beliefs in Yahawashi, when all you got to do is read the whole chapter. And then all of a sudden you don't have a conundrum on your hands. You know what I'm saying? It really hurt me, man. I ain't gonna bullshit y'all, man. But we're gonna keep it moving, man. We're gonna keep it moving. Those things will be addressed soon. But I'm thinking about doing a presentation on each and every tidbit as opposed to a long video, make some digestible material and make it some real milk teaching. I'm realizing that the milk, you know, people, they want to act like they've moved on from the milk, and you should, to be honest, you should never move on from the milk. Yahawashi fought Satan with the milk. You feel me? So prayers up for the brothers that we know have gone to Torah or even Tanakh only. Man, it's cold. You know, I've heard, man, you can't read the New Testament because it's written in Latin and Greek. I mean, you can't even tell me about Maccabees. You can't even tell me about Maccabees. That's in Greek. But yeah, we're gonna move on, man.
The reasons why they went around fighting everybody. It was just like a kind of a foreign. They could distinguish between an Israelite and an Egyptian, right? They say, oh, this person's an Israelite, this person is an Egyptian. If everybody looked the same, how would you even do that? How would you know just off a sight, oh, this person's one of the Hebrews, this person's one of the Egyptians? It's like there were black nations at that time. You had Nubians, you had Ethiopians, you had Egyptians. If these Hebrew people were black, I think that would have been, noted. And also when they left Egypt, what kept them from just assimilating into any of those places? Hey, we're all black, let's get together. I think that there were Arabs. I don't think the Arabs necessarily were the dominant group in that region at the time. And I think that that's probably one of the reasons why they went around fighting everybody. It was just like a kind of a foreign entity that had come into that region.
All right. So
Can I respond to that? So that was very ignorant for you to say that. For you to say that because you said in the Bible they were able to distinguish Israelites and Egyptians.
Yeah.
But Moses grew up with the Egyptians in the Bible and was considered an Egyptian, regarded as an Egyptian. So how can he be regarded as an Egyptian if he was distinguishably, noticeably different than the Egyptians? Additionally, if we go to the New Testament, Paul was called an Egyptian, which was a prominent Jew. So now if we have two different people who were indistinguishable, two of the most prominent Israelites in the Bible who were indistinguishable from the Egyptians, your entire point just fell apart.
Well, when you use the word regarded as a Egyptian, you wouldn't have to be regarded as an Egyptian if you looked like an Egyptian. Moses was the adopted.
I just thought about something, Cole. What does Arab mean when you deal with Arabia, right? What does Arab mean? Somebody tell me. What does Arab mean when it comes to the root word of Arabia? Don't everybody spoil it at once. This shit is nuts. I'll share my screen again. Desert, mixed. So that's one of the versions of Arab. Like in Exodus, when you hear about the mixed multitude, you'll see the version of Arab that means mixed, Arab. But there's a whole different word, Arab. There's actually three. There's one that means mixed. There's one that means to ambush. And there's another that means shamelsh. You know what I'm saying? One means mix. One means to ambush. And the other means something else. Now, if you go to Arabia, it's going to tell you about steppe dwellers. It's going to tell you about people who inhabit a certain country. But we want to get down to the root, right? We want to deal with etymology. Let me share my screen. Present. We'll see if somebody spoil it. Nobody's spoiling it. All praises though, man, because we are learning together. So we got Arab, we got the definition of Arabia, right? This is what's been translated into Arabia. But let's look at the root. To become even, like when the nighttime comes, or to grow dark. That's a fucking cut. Even, darkened. So this is why by the time you get to dealing with Rab, you have Rab, which is abundant, right? And then you have Arab, which means mixed. And what it's telling you about is a dark mass of multitude. Like if you see a bunch of birds in the air to where it makes that section of the sky dark. You see what I'm saying? It's a word that's almost actionable. This is how physical the Hebrew is. But the word Arab, where Arabia comes from, is to grow dark, to become even, grow dark, spend the evening, do at even. Let's look at the Jacinius Chaldean lexicon. To set as the sun, to depart far away, to wander hence, to draw toward evening. That's amazing. So to grow dusky is the strongest definition. Through the idea of covering with the texture, to grow dusky as a shadow, to be darkened. Ain't that neat? Ain't that neat, y'all? So the nigga talking about, oh, they were Arab. I mean that's what we're trying to tell you. Exactly. Dusky, another word for black. Or swarmy.
So he was given the same allowances and the status as a Egyptian. But for that to have happened, if you adopt a kid that shows same color, you don't have to tell people, oh, that's my adopted. Just that's my son, and people take it at face value. But because there was a distinction between the way Moses looked and the way the typical Egyptian looked, it had to be noted that he was regarded as an Egyptian, so that people would know to give him the same respect.
It had to be noted that he was regarded as an Egyptian. You don't read that anywhere. It says he was raised in all the ways of the Egyptians. And then you deal with the eyes of the people that looked at him from another cultural perspective. They thought he was an Egyptian. So whether the Hebrews are black or the Egyptians are black, even culturally, they're looking at this nigga thinking you are an Egyptian.
As an Egyptian person of that rank.
It wasn't noted that it was regarded. What I'm saying by regarded is what all stories about Moses up until the point where he leaves Pharaoh's house is he's an Egyptian, right? I could go before that. Let's go to Joseph, one of the 12 sons. When his brothers saw him, they thought that was an Egyptian. They didn't think that was their brother. They thought that was an Egyptian. Right? So here we have, again, 3 of the most prominent Israelites in the whole Bible are all saw and not expected, but believed to be Egyptians by the people that see them, right? So if they looked ethnically distinguishably different, then that wouldn't happen.
If they
Man, first of all, salute the captain. Yahawashi, I was like a rocket thigh, brother. How you living?
Shalom. I'm doing all right, my brother.
Okay.
How you living?
I'm doing all right. You watching this bloodbath, man?
Yeah, I was watching it in the chat, but I did step away for a minute while I was getting set up to join you on this live. So I probably missed like the last 5 minutes or so.
This shit was crazy, man. This dude's getting butchered. Sure. Like, share, and subscribe, family. We got the captain in the building, man. Show some respect. Let's get these likes up. Let's get these likes to 1,000. Let's get them at 100 right now. Let's try to get these likes to 1,000. Propagate this. The world needs to see this ass whooping. We're gonna let it play a little more, and then we're gonna let Cap get caught up with the situation, and he gonna chime in too.
That's right.
If they were indistinguishable, right? You would not have to regard him as an Egyptian.
Respond to what I just said.
If you look white, I wouldn't have to regard you as a white person. I would just say, oh, he's a white person.
But you're not responding to what I just said, because I already addressed that, right? And then I gave you additional information. Right. Joseph, when his brothers saw him, everybody thought that was it wasn't a regard. Okay. It was what they believed when they saw the individual.
Let me ask you a question.
Nigga, deal with the point. Let me ask you a question. It's almost like his neurons are not firing to understand what just happened to him. You see how important that point was posed to him. Like, you can make the pretend argument about, oh, he wouldn't have to be regarded as if he was as that. I mean, that's retarded. If somebody says that, it just means he was considered to be, for whatever reason. It could be because his phenotype matched it, because his linguistics were on point with the Egyptians. It could be anything, but it's to say that he was on par with the Egyptians. To try to make a semantical argument like the one he's doing is crazy. But now he's being faced with a real problem when some actual Hebrews is looking at this nigga and saying that they think he's an Egyptian. How you feel about that, Cap?
I mean, it's ridiculous. I'm gonna let Grla finish tying them down on this point, but not to even mention, I think Grla probably loosely mentioned it. He mentioned Paul, but let's talk about the man in question anyway, the Lord Yahawashi. Where did his family go when they were looking to kill him as a youth?
Yeah, like, I'm not gonna lie, man. Like, I would use that on somebody like him, but like, if it's a scholar, I'm not gonna use that argument. Reason being is because Philo is called Philo of what? Let's think about Philo.
Right.
Philo of Alexandria. Why is this important? Because Alexandria is a very important place, and where Egypt, and like we've been studying in class, Egypt is full of Jews already. So it's not even necessarily a blending in thing. It's a niggas belong here anyway. You know what I'm saying?
That's
So
true.
he got to deal with this ancient focal point, which is maybe it's a different social environment at this time. And a nigga can't get around this. You can't get around the fact that some actual Jews looked at their own brother and didn't realize, one, that he was a Hebrew, and didn't realize that he was their brother, meaning that phenotypically his prejudice, his argument has to either be false, and it had to be more diverse in that region than he thought, or it had to be both these groups was black. I would argue that it was more of a diversity thing, and this nigga's initial point was wrong, because he said, oh, they would have stood out because they wouldn't have stood out because, if they was black, the Egyptians was black. So what would have stopped them from just thinking that they was Egyptians too?
Right.
So
The point that he don't seem to realize is that the two people who dwell together, no matter what he thinks, right? The scriptures, the historical text says, is indicating by implication that they look singular. Hello? You can't, and he can't get around that. And I know Gorilla's going to tie him down on that. All praises.
you know what I'm saying? This is bad. His argument got so many calories in it.
You got to respond to that, Joseph. You got to respond to that.
I'm going to respond to that. First of all, Joseph was a servant in the house of Pharaoh. So
Joseph was the highest ranking.
Yeah, that's fine.
At that time, he was the highest ranking person in all of Egypt.
He was still a servant in the house of Pharaoh.
Not at the time when his brothers encountered him. What I'm referencing, though.
Yeah, he was.
No, not at the time that I'm referencing. He wasn't. No.
Okay, well, when his brothers saw him after he was sold into slavery, remember, they were in trouble, and when they saw him, he played a trick on them. So clearly, in Egypt was like a cultural hub.
He's cut and he knows it. He's cut. Now he's about to try to remix his argument, bro. I'm gonna rewind it. He really is remixing this shit. Call this nigga. He's a DJ.
Different than the Egyptians. Additionally, if we go to the New Testament, Paul was called an Egyptian, which was a prominent Jew. So now if we have two different people who were indistinguishable, two of the most prominent,
the Arabs necessarily were the dominant group in that region at the time. And I think that's probably one of the reasons why they went around fighting everybody. It was just like a kind of a foreign entity that had come into that region.
All right.
Can I respond to that? So that was very ignorant for you to say that. For you to say that because you said in the Bible they were able to distinguish Israelites and Egyptians.
Yeah.
But Moses grew up with the Egyptians in the Bible and was considered an Egyptian, regarded as an Egyptian. So how can he be regarded as an Egyptian if he was distinguishably, noticeably different than the Egyptians? Additionally, if we go to the New Testament, Paul was called an Egyptian, which was a prominent Jew. So now if we have two different people who were indistinguishable, two of the most prominent Israelites in the Bible who were indistinguishable from the Egyptians, your entire point just fell apart.
Well, when you use the word regarded as a Egyptian, you wouldn't have to be regarded as an Egyptian.
You use the word regarded.
Moses was the adopted son of Pharaoh, so he was given the same allowances and the status as a Egyptian. But for that to have happened, if you adopt a kid that shows same color, you don't have to tell people, "Oh, that's my adopted." Just that's my son, and people take it at face value. But because there was a distinction between the way Moses looked and the way the typical Egyptian looked.
You said what, Cat?
No, let him finish. Let him finish.
It had to be noted that he was regarded as an Egyptian, so that people would know to give him the same respect as an Egyptian person.
Where is he getting that piece of evidence right there? They can do a study on the word regard. This is ridiculous.
He's making it up as he goes along. I mean, the point is he was taken in, as the daughter, as the son of Pharaoh's daughter, right? So yes, even in that sense, he will be regarded as Egyptian. But let's stop. If he looked that drastically different, then he would never be mistaken for an Egyptian.
Exactly. When he look, bro, it's so funny how he tries to hold on to this, but then he tries to metamorph it.
It was not. It wasn't noted that it was regarded. What I'm saying by regarded is all stories about Moses up until the point where he leaves Pharaoh's house.
First of all, the definition of regard is considered or think. So people thought he was Egyptian. When you use the word consider or think, they wouldn't have to consider he's an Egyptian or think he's an Egyptian if he's shut the fuck up, nigga. You make that up.
Come on. That's like today, you see a light-skinned Judite sister and you regard her in reality, it's a light-skinned Judite sister, but when you first see it, you might regard her as a Dominican or something, right?
Or an Edomitical priest.
Right, something like that. That's what you regard because you didn't know.
That's right.
Based on what you look like, you regard them and assuming that that's what it is. So his point is so flawed.
He don't have one, so he gotta invent one. It's crazy, but it gets worse.
God, this is nuts.
He's an Egyptian, right? I could go before that. Let's go to Joseph, one of the 12 sons. When his brothers saw him, they thought that was an Egyptian. They didn't think that was their brother. They thought that was an Egyptian, right? So here we have.
First of all, one's in the chat if you think the brother on the left is cooking. A brother dressed like an orca whale, man. If you think he's cooking, put a one in the chat.
Have again 3 of the most prominent Israelites in the whole Bible are all saw and believed to be Egyptians by the people that see them, right? So if they looked ethnically distinguishably different, then that wouldn't happen.
If they were indistinguishable, right? You would not have to regard him as an Egyptian.
Respond to what I just said.
If you look white, I wouldn't have to regard you as a white person. I would just say, oh, he's a white person.
But you
say what now?
And then he won't deal with the point, what Grla just said.
Not one of them.
He won't get, these are, see, and this is the point. This is our book, man. We just look at a history book, right? Our text, right? Then you have to consider that they grew up with Joseph. All right? They all grew up with him. This is dad and shit, his moms and shit. Like, you don't start to look that drastically different. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, as you age, you do start to look a little different. But it's not that drastic to where you're unrecognizable. And I mean, that's what this guy is acting like. that means that these two people had to have a phenotype so similar that they didn't even recognize him. That he blended in so good with being made up, probably having his head shaved and different things, not having a beard.
You see that? You see that? A beard changed the way somebody look real.
That's what, General. That's what I was about to get at. That him with a bald head and no beard, right, and a bunch of jewelry on, right, can make him look drastically different. Make him look like an Egyptian person.
That's crazy.
Because they have a similar phenotype.
Probably Mav said, I was born in Liberia and raised around Liberians, but when I go around Liberians that are not my family members that grew up with me, I'm always regarded as African American until I start speaking.
Exactly.
Different things that'll change the way people look at you. And this brother can only think of he can only think of looks.
Right.
On skin level.
Right. His speech is just like, for me, I grew up in New York, but my family's from North Carolina. So when I would go to North Carolina for the summer, and then I would come back home to New York, they'd be like, "Oh, you sound so country." Right? You sound like a person.
Hey, shout out to the powerful soldier Gabar Yala, man.
Yeah, Khan.
Hey, real quick, who saw the soldier walk Stacey Mosley on live? Who seen it? We gonna divert attention, man. You just need to go ahead and watch this video. I need to pull it up for you. That way you're not missing out. Who saw the powerful soldier just walk this nigga Stacey Mosley down live?
Hey, put a 1 in the chat, family, if you saw the powerful soldier. God, y'all. Walk them down like a dog. If you saw it, put a 1 in the chat. We want to know if you saw it, all right?
We're going to do a reaction to this discussion because he called himself debunking the captain. You know, the captain did a presentation on racist tenets in the Torah. Stacey Mosley called himself debunking it. And I'm like, and then in the midst of it, he's also trying to counter challenge me and Azariah to a debate. And he had to lie and say he never said that he was going to take the 3v1 that he ran from. But long story short, I figured if I go in there to walk this nigga down, it ain't going to work. He going to have too much vitriol. So I said, man, I went in the chat. I said, man, who's bold enough to go in there for the general and snipe this nigga for me, man? And this brother raised his hand fervently, brother. And so what I want y'all to do, man, click the link real quick. Make sure you get this queued up because you want to see him walk Stacey Mosley down. I'm gonna play some of it.
Yeah, let's play a little bit of it. Hey, and I love, man, shout out to the so powerful soldier. He said, man, all praises to the Most High. He said only thing he did was get good instructions and understand the assignment. Outstanding.
Hey, that's everything. That's everything. You know what I'm saying? The length and width of all of our ability, man, matters not if we don't have the ability to follow the instructions given to us. You know what I'm saying? The only reason I'm anywhere near as okay at what I do is because I understand the assignment. So never ever shortchange that ability. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
So I've been watching some of the streams, and I caught the stream by the captain, where he was talking about racism in the Torah. And I did have a question as far as that's concerned. If we see that the Lord God allows or tells Israel that they can possess people as slaves and even pass them down to their children so they can possess them forever, wouldn't you consider that racism?
That's right.
Oh,
y'all gotta go watch that.
You gotta go put views on that, okay? And you gotta put likes on that. Shout out to the powerful soldier, man. May that brother continue to endeavor and strive in this, man. And shout out to the soldier Yahawashi. Yahawashi. Yeah, man. Shout out to all the FOG brothers in the building. We got Yakanan Israel in the building. Shout out to that powerful brother, man. FOG in the building. What you ought to do is hit the email up if you want to join the ministry too, because we're only growing and we need boots on the ground everywhere. That's what we need. We need brothers that's fully equipped for this bloodshed that we try. Like it's bloodshed on all the spiritual bloodshed. We want these sacrifices laid out in the spiritual altar. The blood of our enemies is just leaking and our doctrine prominent on the face of the earth, so that we can show hamashiach we serious about this. We can show the Most High we ready for him to send his son back.
Right, and that's why he said the kingdom of heaven is within us. All right, so let's go ahead and let's manifest it. Right, let's bring it to reality through the power of the Holy Spirit given us via Yahawashi. All right.
Damn it, that's right. FireGuardClassroom@gmail.com. Damn.
That's right,
what I
man.
just said, because I already addressed that, right? And then I gave you additional information. Right. Joseph, when his brothers saw him, they thought everybody thought that was, it wasn't a regard. Okay. It was what they believed when they saw the individual.
Let me ask you a question.
No, you got to respond to that, Joseph. You got to respond to that.
I'm going to respond to that. First of all, Joseph was a servant in the house of Pharaoh. So
Joseph was the highest ranking.
Yeah, that's fine.
At that time, he was the highest ranking person in all of Egypt.
He was still a servant in the house of Pharaoh.
Not at the time when his brothers encountered him. What I'm referencing, though.
Yeah, he was.
No, not at the time that I'm referencing. He wasn't. No.
Okay, well, when his brothers saw him after he was sold into slavery, remember, they were in trouble. And when they saw him, he played a trick on them. So clearly, in Egypt was like a cultural hub at that time.
1000%.
Many people coming in to trade from many different places. So the skin color of an Egyptian or a servant inside of Pharaoh's house was not distinctly one color. What I would say to you is this: when Pharaoh's daughter found Moses on the river, how did she know he was a Hebrew kid if they all look the same?
Well, that's easy because he was circumcised.
Well, if you find a
he
baby,
was circumcised.
Okay,
they didn't circumcise their kids.
Okay.
Whoa! Oh my God! Hey, bro, don't realize how bad he's drowning right now. It's the culture, man. It's Christ.
The Israelites did.
Okay, so so say he was circumcised, right? Okay, so if this person is adopted by the Pharaoh, right? Because on top of that, we didn't even know. The Bible doesn't even talk about whether Moses was circumcised or not. So that's just an assumption.
But that's literally was Abraham. So that's literally what happened. But that's the tradition of the Hebrews.
But when the Hebrews were in Egypt for 436 years,
they weren't.
They
weren't there at the point of Moses. They weren't there. 436 years.
436 years of being in a society. You adopt those society's rules.
Moses was the third generation of Egypt.
Let me tell you
the third generation.
Even when
that wasn't 436 years.
Talks about the Hebrews. Leaving out of Egypt. Remember, Moses had to come in and basically reteach those people who their God was.
Yes.
So if they didn't even know who their God was, what made you think that they were practicing the practices of Hebrews?
We weren't talking about the religion. We're talking about the culture. But again,
the culture is cemented, rooted in the religion.
But here's the first off.
He doesn't understand that it's not a religion, right? He don't understand that at this point in time that the law hadn't even been given to the Israelites. They had came into Egypt as a small collective, a small family, and then that multiplied at this point into a nation. All right? So there were oral practices that was going to be passed down that was embedded in their culture. Right. And that is part of the way they were distinguished. And one of the main things I guarantee was damn circumcision.
That it had to be. You know what I'm saying? All the way from Abraham. Just think about how far removed the Jews on the scene during the Roman Empire, how removed they are from Abraham. But a lot of them are doing what they're doing on a cultural basis. And because they have a hierarchy that's going to look over the culture and make sure people's in line with it. Same thing, gang culture. It don't got nothing to do with no fucking religion, but it still produces a look and it produces a certain type of walk and a certain type of talk, of behavior. So behavior, you can, the countenance of a man tells you what type of man he is, right?
That's right.
Let's say of the scriptures. But this is pan-Africanism for you.
Hey, and everybody hit the like button. If you're watching live right now, it's free. Definitely hit the like button. Share this video. If you're not subscribed, please go ahead and subscribe. All right. We want to get the views on this well over 1,000. All right. We want to get the likes up to around 1,000 too, right? Because if you watch it, then you like it. All right. Is that simple?
Might as well, Craig.
God,
They
man.
haven't really introduced to them yet and tell Moses, number one.
Wait.
But they have cultural, hold on, they have cultural practice. They have cultural practices.
I want you to answer my
Again,
question.
Listen, you still haven't answered my question because I asked you about
I'm
Joseph.
answering it.
I asked you about Joseph and you brought me back to Moses.
And I'm answering.
No, you did not answer the question.
I'm answering.
You did not answer the question. You told me that there was a clear ethnic distinction between the two people, and now I need you to explain why Joseph's brothers did not recognize him. That's what I asked you. Please answer it.
I'm going to answer it again. You said that Pharaoh's daughter.
Speaking of culture, who needs? Speaking of culture, who needs some of these? Or these?
Right. Get your culture right. All right.
You see that? Who needs these?
All right, that brew drip.
I'm about to drop a link.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of culture.
Knew Moses was
Notice
Hebrew.
we're going back to Moses. I just
fine.
asked you about Joseph for the third time, and you're running from that because you have no answer for it, brother. You have no answer for it. Just concede, bro.
I'm
just
not conceding because
don't let the pride get
you.
God, he got no clue who he done stepped into the lion's den with.
I already told you that Egypt was a cultural hub.
So if Egypt is a cultural hub, how are the people homogenous, and then you're able to identify them exclusively? You
gotta let me answer. Egypt was a trade hub. There were people of many nations who different.
You said something, Cap?
Oh no, I'm just saying he got him.
Cut his ass bad.
Backgrounds who served in the house of Pharaoh. We know that. There were even prostitutes in Egypt that were from Asia and all over the place. When his brothers saw him, and he went from being a boy that they stuck in a basket and sold into slavery, when they see him as a servant of the house of Pharaoh, he's totally different, bro. Got on all the garbs. He's looking good. He got the jewelry, all that. He's looking like a new person. Plus, remember when they sold him, he was a boy. When they re-encountered him, he was a man. So they didn't recognize him.
Hold on. But that's that's the point. Yeah, they didn't recognize him. But the reason why they couldn't recognize him because he looked similar to Egyptian. It doesn't matter if it was a cultural hub, what do the Egyptians look like though? Right? The Egyptians are known to have had a dark hue, which means that Joseph had to at least have been of a dark hue. And my bro, man, he could go eat some more biscuits, man, and step away from the table, bro, because he about to get done dirty.
Hold on. Lion P said Hebrew Israelites are terrible liars. How you figure that?
Right.
Matter of fact, explain after you click the link, brother.
Yeah. Come on here and talk to us, please.
The link. Click the link.
Right. Everybody in the chat, tell them to click the link.
There's not one lie that's being said by any Israelite on this entire panel during the duration of this video in this live chat.
Simple. It has nothing to do with color. What I'm telling you is
that's not an answer.
That is an answer.
No, because I didn't say why
if
they.
I took your brother away from you when he was 12, and you see him when he's 28, you might not recognize him.
No, I didn't say why didn't they recognize his brother.
That's exactly what you asked.
No, I said why didn't they recognize him ethnically? If there is a clear, distinguishable ethnic difference between these two groups of people, why did they think that when they saw him, they even referred to him as an Egyptian? They didn't say if there's a clear difference between these two groups of people and how they look.
Is this a Lion of Peace?
In the private chat, is this Lion of Peace, yeah or nay?
You talking to me, bro?
Yeah. We waiting for Lion of Peace to click the link. How you doing, family?
Okay. What's good? What's peace to you, brother? How you? Peace to the brothers. Peace to the chat. So,
How you living, family?
man, I can't complain, brother. Out here just enjoying all the stress from these communities coming from all parts abroad.
Yes,
I wanted
indeed.
to hop on real quick just to say this, man. Um, it amazes me how, because when we first started this movement, you know what I'm saying, not us, I'm saying like when we first started becoming popular as an Israelite community, you know, we was going through Captain Chazariak and others, Guerrilla Hebrew, and it was babbling the Kemet doctrines and all these different things. Notice how in order to, they are willing to drop their whole doctrine of making Egypt black to now it's multicultural, or oh, these people looked all shades, and you know what I'm saying, they just conceding Egypt, they just giving it all away just to make Israelites not look like them. Y'all notice that?
Yeah, that's a good point. That is a very
When
good
have we ever seen Egypt not being portrayed by other blacks as 100% thoroughly black nation? Ancient times.
From the Kemites, I've never seen a Kemet head make that point before. Only from outside of that community do I see it. So that's an excellent point. You know, they ready to just give it all up. They risking it all trying to get their last little licks in, and it's just a ship sinking, man. And the band playing on
Right.
the way down, violins.
Right. Trey in the living room after the encounter with the police. Oh, boys in the hood swinging at the air.
Like Drake.
But that's all I really wanted, bro. I just wanted to make that point because I thought I just got off a Garfield show with that same stuff. Oh, brother, they compared Paul to Egyptian because I'm like, well, why would they reference him? Why would he mistake? Why would he think Paul was an Egyptian? Oh, well, man, Egyptians was many shades and this, that, and oh man, that's where we at now with this though. But I'll yield at that, man. I don't want to take up too much of your time, brother. Appreciate you letting me on for the quick second. Support to the chat, man. I'm gonna share the video. Y'all brothers take it easy, man.
Coming up, family.
All right, shalom, y'all.
Shalom.
Look, Lion of Peace. If you pull one scripture to destroy Jesus was born of a virgin, I don't even know what you mean by that.
Right, because
you could click the link.
Applause. What?
I don't even know if you meant to say that.
Right.
Like, don't teach that Mary was a literal virgin. You know what I'm saying? We believe the virgin birth, but we don't believe in immaculate conception. You understand the difference? We're not on that type of time. So if you want to come up here and prove that, you go ahead, and then I'll show you where another young nigga was born of a virgin too, but he's made out of nut just like the rest of us.
Yeah, technically he was born of a virgin.
You see what I'm saying? You guys got to stop this nonsense.
Yeah, but he wasn't immaculately conceived through some damn angel with Mary and this angel in adultery. What is going on here?
You feel me? This is for the fake lion. Or if you're a Kemet and you think that the brother on the left is doing a good job, man, you can come in here. Or if you think you got better arguments against Guerrilla Hebrew, so you can come in.
And it's observable with the naked eye. Why did they look at him and say he was an Egyptian?
Because
that's what I'm asking you.
Egyptians came in different colors.
If they
all
came
Egyptians
and that
were
debunks your premise. Thank you for debunking your own premise.
Let me finish. Egyptians came in different colors. All of them were not one standard color. Why? Because the mixing. There were dynasties where they had freaking damn near entirely Asian people that were pharaohs in Egypt. So there was a lot of race mixing in Egypt. But what I'm telling you is, when you talk about how did Pharaoh's daughter recognize Moses, you said because he was circumcised. But then at the same time, you said that they were not practicing their religion. They had to be reintroduced to their God. So if you're not practicing the religion, what makes one think that you are actually practicing the religious customs such as circumcision? It's like black people in America. We had a bunch of customs in Africa. 400 years of slavery later, a lot of that stuff we are no longer practicing.
False equivalency. So like I said, Moses is not 400 years later, right? He's literally the third generation in Egypt. So just like we can take a look at certain customs and cultures that were carried over into Africa, certain ones, especially in the Caribbean, that still had were preserved, we can see that there. But that's irrelevant. The whole point was
hey, Gabar, y'all ain't crazy. He called him coward of peace.
That's right.
So damn funny. Get that nigga need a t-shirt that says coward of peace.
Mm-hmm.
With a pink cape on.
Tag that. That's right. Got him.
We're gonna let Gabar Yala walk him down.
Mm-hmm.
The Hebrews and all these people mixed among different people and had variance in looks. You just now made.
Hey, Cap, take control. I'm gonna step back for a second. I'll be right back.
My point and when I asked you the question. Thank you, because your point was that when you saw these two people, the reason why we know these people are Arab, because you could see them and they're different, but you just admitted when you see them, they're not different because there was mixing and there was a diversity amongst the people. So thank you.
No, I'm talking about
for making my point.
I'm talking about a specific incident with Joseph, and I'm not even saying that they didn't recognize him because of the color of his skin, but because one, he had matured greatly since the time they sold him in. Plus, he's dressed like an Egyptian. Back in those.
I mean, that's really irrelevant. Of course, he was going to be dressed like an Egyptian. But the point, again, that this brother does not seem to realize is that the Egyptians and the Hebrews definitely looked alike, had a similar phenotype. And this dude act like he don't get it, man. Right? And then like the brother was saying, like, it's amazing how hard this brother is trying, how he jumping through hoops to make Egypt some fucking melting pot. Yes, it was a hub center, but it wasn't no melting pot like that. People would come in and do their trades and then go back. All right? Let's continue.
Those days, people had different costumes. They wore different things.
True.
So when they saw the dude, they're not even thinking, damn, my brother who I sold into slavery ended up in the house of Pharaoh as one of Pharaoh's top advisors. No one's thinking like that.
That's a straw man.
I
didn't say I recognize him as their brother. I'm talking about ethnically recognize him, not in their relation to them.
Exactly. Again, that's the point. They didn't ethnically recognize him. They said that this man must be an Egyptian. Damn. Oh, Lord, man. Oh, man, Grla is doing them dirty. Real talk. Let's go.
But I'm talking about as an ethnic, because you said there was observable ethnic differences, bro.
Just like you are a Belizean.
Haitian.
Right. There's Belizean people who are your color.
1,000%.
There's different colors. The point I'm getting at is this. These people, you're saying that Moses was easily recognizable, and that means that the Egyptians look like the Hebrews, right? But I'm saying the Egyptians and the Hebrews didn't necessarily look alike. They were different. Egyptians were dark-skinned people or people with color. Hebrews are like Canaanite, Lebanese people. Those people are light-skinned. They're still around. Their DNA is still here. Go to Lebanon. So
they're not Canaanites, though.
Whoa. Let's go.
Lebanese people are Arabs, they're not Canaanites.
Right. What? No, they're Canaanites. If you do the research, they're Canaanites. They're descended from Canaanites.
I believe Guerrilla Hebrew is right. I believe the Lebanese people are Arabs, are of Ishmael. They're not are Canaanites or Hamites. All right.
I've done. There's no primary DNA resource on Canaanites.
Yes, there is.
I've debated the top PhD scholar on the planet Earth on debates on DNA in the Middle East. It's got hundreds of thousands of views, bro. You don't know what you're talking about.
You debated, bro.
You don't know what you're talking about.
All it takes is a soft Google search. You can see that those people in the Levant region, the land known as Lebanon.
I've actually referenced the peer-reviewed genetic study journals on this, sir. Not a quick Google search.
You're saying.
Oh man, this is bad, family. Hey, hit the like button, right? Hey, if you're enjoying this video, this live stream, definitely hit the like button, like, share, and subscribe. Drop them fire emojis in the chat for us. Hey, Khan, man, this guy is a moron talking about if you do a like, do a light Google search when Grla and I had a debate with a top scholar and basically debunked DNA, right? Oh my Lord, man. Hey, all right, hey. I'll lay off the pause button. I'm gonna let it play. I'll let it play. I don't want y'all to get mad at me in the chat, all right? But hit the like button and I'll hit play. Yeah, I'm dead, man. Dude said a soft Google search. I'm done.
A quick Google search.
You're saying you did the peer-reviewed journals,
Yes.
right?
With the top scholar on the planet Earth who's a Jew.
I'm telling the people who are going to watch this, they simply can do a soft Google search and all the information about the Lebanese people of today directly descending from the Canaanites of back in the day.
Where's the sample of the Canaanite DNA?
That's what I was, man, I'm sorry to pause it again, Fatty Hattie, right? But I got you because this is the problem with DNA, right? Everybody know. I'm not gonna say everybody knows this, right? But if you have any wisdom at all and you do any research, right, you have to have an accurate DNA result. You would have to have a source from that ancient people, and you would really like to have multiple sources, right? Multiple bones. You know what I'm saying? To draw the DNA from, right? And they don't have no bones of no ancient Canaanites. All right. Just like they ain't got no bones of no ancient Israelites. That's why the small hats who currently dwell in the land of Israel, that's why their DNA evidence holds no weight. Yes, it can say that their DNA says that they come from the Levant. Oh, okay, whatever. But we know that who they really are, those people came out of what is called the Levant, or commonly known as the Middle East. All right, that don't mean you are Israelite. Okay, you have to have a source, a relevant source from that time period, dwelling in that land, right, to compare the DNA to, which they don't have any. All right, and that's what Grla was about to say. So let's continue.
How does one determine that the bones of somebody get to the bottom of it? No, you didn't, because I'm explaining, because we have to unpack the methodology. How do you determine?
We
do because you're talking
about. He said we don't have to unpack the methodology.
Yeah, he said we don't. See, they don't care about how these studies are put together. That's why everybody was so quick to take the damn jump shot, right? Take the jab, right? Do you know what a peer-reviewed study is? Do you know how long it takes for a vaccine to come online, right? For a clinical trial? For them to give you something that they pumped out in less than a year? When the average clinical trial is 7 years? Oh, that don't matter. It's ridiculous. Like, it don't matter what ancient source they're using to compare the DNA to. Huh?
You see that?
Cognitive dissonance we got to deal with. I'm gonna let it play Fatty Hattie because Fatty Hattie mad at me, General. He said I hit the pause button too much.
Fatty Hattie could kick the fucking rocks, though. You know what I'm saying? No disrespect, Fatty Hattie, but this is what the fuck we doing. We're reacting to this shit. We're not watching it quietly. Here, I'm gonna drop the link for the actual debate, and you can go on over there and contribute to them views. No love lost, but we got a prerogative in a program over here, family.
That's right, Con. Let's get it.
Too much? You on here too long? How about that? That's a view we don't need. I'd give it back to you if I could, brother. You can go play it, Gap. I'm gonna find the link for the brother, and then drop it for him.
Come on.
And the scientific methodology, you're not even in a position to talk about what's been proven.
Okay, why don't you just go get a DNA test and prove that you're Hebrew?
I've already done it.
I bet you it's going to be 0% Semitic blood.
No,
we talk about science.
No,
you're not going to do this. You're not going to go from fantasy land with me into science. Because if we're talking about science, let's end this debate. You do a DNA test, I do a DNA test.
Whoa. He said, let's talk about, we're going to talk about science, do a DNA test. do a DNA test, but he don't even want to talk about methodology.
That's right.
So if we do a DNA test, how do you even know how to look at the migrations that your DNA test is going to pick up? Like, what's the difference between the blood of an Irishman and the blood of a Britishman when they're the same motherfucker when you look at the modern Irish? You see what I'm saying?
That's why the methodology is so important. The methodology is the science, right? It's the method to understand the differences between, right? And what is science? To know. You want to know.
Hold on real quick. Fatty Hattie, I dropped the link for the debate. If you see my picture in the chat, there's a link right there. You can just go watch the debate uninterrupted. Okay, no love lost. But we doing this shit right here. Okay, this is crazy. We dissect for a reason, because this is just not entertainment. And you don't really get edification from a debate. You learn questions from a debate, and it's supposed to spark thought. It's supposed to give you things to then go and edify yourself on. You're getting information from both sides so you can study it later. We're jumping into it right now because we've already got the insight. You see what I'm saying?
Wait a second. Fatty Hattie, you about to get kicked completely out of this chat if you disrespect any one of our princesses in this chat. All right? The chat is a free forum for anybody to express their comments. All right? She's not in here teaching. Making a comment is not teaching. Okay?
Nigga ban.
Fucking
chronically single ass nigga, man.
Man, incel. Let's go, man.
All incels unsubscribe immediately. You're gonna find out real quick. This is not the channel for you. Weird ass red pill niggas, man. I don't know how you niggas gonna be fruitful and multiply with your hand and lotion, but it ain't going. We're not on that. BRB.
This debate is over.
Here's the problem.
Zero submitted blood inside you right now.
Here's what he doesn't understand. Here's what he doesn't understand. If he would just shut up, I have literally already debated a top Jewish scholar.
I don't care who you debated. We can get to the bottom of this today. Let's do a DNA test.
No, you should care. You should have a little bit of respect for your opponent. You know what I mean? And see, that's the problem. He didn't respect his opponent coming in to it. And you should never underestimate your opponent going into an altercation, confrontation, or debate, whatever it is. All right? That's how you end up getting washed. All right? And he should have looked at Guerrilla Hebrew's debate with the top Jewish Christian apologist, Dr. Michael Brown. Right? He should have took a very close look at that. And he would have saw that section where they talked about DNA. All right, let's go.
If I could talk, it would be amazing. I literally have already debated a top Jewish scholar on the planet Earth, submitted my DNA test, demonstrated the migrations of my family pursuant to my DNA test from Israel to the Sudan, across Africa, into Ghana, and into slavery. And I've already done it with genetic research, with scientific research, with historical research, and with biblical research. Been there, done that. Sorry, Brandon.
Brandon. I would love to see this. You submitted DNA where it showed you coming from Israel, and then I just don't believe you.
You don't have to believe
there's
it.
no one with this DNA.
Listen, you don't have to believe it. But the PhD scholar, the PhD Jewish scholar, had nothing to say to it. Had to concede to it.
Let me tell you.
But who are you? Who are you?
Listen,
are you a geneticist? Are you a scholar? Do you have a PhD? Are you a historian? You're none of those things. If he couldn't gainsay it, how could you?
Wait, hold on.
Here's Google.
Look. I'm a person who's smart enough to know that once you bring up science, there's no group of people known as Hebrew people in anywhere other than the Bible. There's no DNA known as Hebrew.
That's a fallacy, nigga. It doesn't matter if there's nobody known as Hebrew people, because Hebrew is a modified word.
That's right.
Transliteration of a transliteration of a transliteration. So of course, but if you do the anthropology, you can't say there's no such thing as the Shasu people. You can't say there's no such thing as King David. So what are you talking about? I'm somebody who's smart enough to know. No, you're dumb enough to think that that's solid.
DNA. Even if you talk, even if you talk about the language of Hebrew, there's no language called Hebrew. Even what you guys call Hebrew is either Yiddish or ancient Canaanite language. You guys, Hebrew Israelites, period, are nothing more than one sect within the Canaanite people.
Why?
They're not their own
why
nation.
though? Hold on. Why though?
You
Do you know what like why?
This guy's a straight liar too, man. Let me show y'all something. Let me find this real quick.
What you got for him, Cap?
This guy said there's no such thing as Hebrew. He's a liar. This is right here. This is, you see this, family? This is the Paleo Hebrew Levitical scroll, right? This is a scroll found written in ancient Paleo Hebrew that contains portion of the book of Leviticus. All right. So Paleo Hebrew Levitical scroll, known as 11 Q Paleo Levi, is an ancient text preserved in one of the Quran groups of caves, which provides a rare glimpse of the script used formerly by the Israelites in writing Torah scrolls during pre-exilic history. The fragmentary remains of the Torah scroll is written in the Paleo Hebrew script and was found stashed away in cave number 11 at Qumran. So a portion of Leviticus. The scroll is thought to be penned by the scribes between the late 2nd century BCE and early 1st century BCE, while others place is writing in the 1st century CE. No matter what, is ancient. And it proves that there was an ancient Hebrew language. Okay? And not only Hebrew language, what we say, ancient Paleo Hebrew, not Yiddish, which is German, mixed with ancient Aramaic. All right?
Bring it out, Cap.
Okay, which the people who currently dwell in the land speak. This guy is totally uninformed. A soft Google search would have revealed this.
Not the Google search angle. Look, man.
That's what he said. He said he's smart enough to do a soft Google search. Well, he ain't smart. He ain't smart enough. He didn't know this. It's crazy, man.
Because Moses threw blood on you guys on the bottom of Mount Sinai, and you guys entered an agreement saying we're a special.
Niggas said we became Israel because we got blood sprinkled on us.
Right.
Nigga, the children of Israel entered into Egypt 70 souls.
That's right. They were already a family. What are you talking about?
Bruh, tripping.
Of Canaanite. And then you guys got together and went around the Levant, killing every other Canaanite group.
Okay.
I'll give you a prime example. The guy who taught Moses how to worship the Most High, his name was Jethro, right?
Yeah.
He was a Midianite priest.
True.
Moses,
he was a Canaanite.
Moses married one of Jethro's daughters.
Yeah.
But guess what? Wait, but you said he was a Canaanite, right? So
Jethro's
how
a
did
Canaanite,
this?
yeah.
So how was this Canaanite a priest of the Most High that you worship?
He wasn't a priest of the
Yes,
he was a priest of Midian. What's the name of the God of the Bible?
Listen, man.
What's the name of the God?
Oh shit. Hey, let me show y'all something, right? I'll pull the scripture, right, real quick, right? Because it clearly says that he was what? That Jethro was the priest of Midian, right? Let me show y'all something real quick, all right? Real quick, just give me 1 second. Barbecue shot. I pulled 2 scriptures.
Hey,
God, such a flunky, man. It's so funny.
it's good TV.
All right, so let me okay, and then let me get one more scripture. All right, ready. All right. So let me share my screen real quick. Just a little quick edification for y'all family. So this is more. Yeah, all right. That's what I want first. All right. So y'all see this right here, right? Exodus 2:16, right? It says, now the priest of Midian had 7 daughters. It's talking about Jethro, right? Clearly says that he was what? The priest of Midian. All right. And they came to draw water. And this is how Moses got his wife. All right. Okay. But the point is, right? So watch. Now, when Pharaoh heard these things, he sought to slay Moses, but Moses fled from the face of Pharaoh and dwelt where? In the land of Midian. Right? And he sat down by the well. And then who came in the land of Midian? The priest of Midian. Now, that's amazing. Now, watch this. Let me show you another example of this, right? How he's trying to conflate stuff. So, let me drop my screen. Let me share my other screen real quick. All right. Look at this right here. Right? This is Genesis 14:18. It says, and Melchizedek, king of Salem, brought forth bread and wine. And he was what? Priest of the Most High God. See that? When you juxtapose the two, how Melchizedek was a priest, but he's called the priest of the Most High, not the priest of the city. That guy, that Canaanite was not a priest of Yahweh. All right? He was a priest for the gods that he worshipped. That's the point. I just wanted to show that. Juxtapose. When it's talking about when it's talking about you being a priest of the Most High, it's clarifying it. Like Melchizedek, he was priest of the Most High God, all right, not priest of the city. But let's get back to it.
Bible. What's the name of the God of the Bible?
Wait. Let me make
What's
this
the
point.
name?
Let me make this point. Let me make
Jehovah,
this point.
right?
Wait, let me
That's
make
the
this point.
transliteration.
Let me make this point. In Canaanite custom, which we can even call Hebrew custom, in order for you to marry one of these guys' daughters, you have to convert to their religion. So
Cite the source on that,
bro.
Cite the source.
Come on, man.
No. Cite the source.
Why are we arguing basic knowledge?
Cite the source. It's not basic knowledge if you can't cite the source.
If you want to marry a Jewish woman today, you have to convert.
The Talmudic practices of Jewish people today have no reflection on the ancient Canaanite customs, bro. What are you talking about?
Jethro.
What's the source?
The Bible.
Okay,
you can read this in the Bible.
Okay. So the source is the Bible. Now watch this. If we go in the book of Genesis, we have a conflict where Jacob has 12 sons and has 1 daughter.
You're filibustering.
No, I'm not.
You're filibustering.
I'm not filibustering. I know you just worship. I know he didn't worship Jehovah.
What God did he worship?
He worshiped the gods of Midian. There were many gods. There were many gods. Number one, sin. Sin was the main god that he worshipped.
Did not say that he was a priest of another god, because that's what he was. And like shout out to King Kutra, right? Back then, priests were part of the local governments too. So it makes sense that he was a priest of Midian. That's right, because that's the area that he went into to dwell. He was a ruler in that city. All right? It's really that simple. And this guy is trying to conflate something, that has nothing to do with it, talking about a Talmudic practice and trying to compare that to the ancient Canaanite practice of their priests in the worship of their gods. I mean, this is absolutely preposterous.
Sin was the main god, the crescent moon god. I've answered the question. I've answered the question. I've answered the question.
He's trying to argue.
No, I'm literally in the middle of a response, and he's trying to derail it because he's going to get his ass busted again. He's getting his ass busted again.
Listen to me.
Go.
Moses left out of Egypt, right? Moses worked for Jethro, right?
Okay.
Moses herded Jethro's sheep. He encountered the burning bush where he basically talked to God, right?
Yeah.
After talking to God, Moses turned around and went and married the daughter of a pagan worshiper. That doesn't even make sense. Jethro was a Midianite priest because he worshiped the Most High. Later on, when they made their Israelite cult, the Israelites doubled back years later and eradicated the Midianites from the face of the earth. Israelites are nothing more than a religious sect that goes around, that back in those days went around slaughtering their own brethren, people who were directly related to them. And in this time, they go around weaponizing the Mosaic law against people in order to recruit people to their cause, to go around weaponizing against other people. You guys are doing the same work you did then now, just you can't kill anybody.
That's fine. So
Wait.
Go
Sorry,
ahead.
right? So when you say they weaponize it, what do you mean? Because that's that's like a huge, a huge like accusation. So when you say like weaponize, like what's your examples?
When I say weaponize it, meaning they don't use it in the way that Jesus Christ, their Lord and Savior, told them to use the law. Okay. They use the law as a weapon against people to basically deride people and make people feel like they're less than them. And the only way you can be like them is if you join them in going around making other people feel like they're less than them. It's just a recruitment organization. There's no real end game to it. I just need more people on my side to keep telling you that you ain't shit. And
ridiculous. But let me respond to what he said last though. Number one, so if we look, because the Bible is his admitted source, so let's just follow the biblical narrative. Yeah. The biblical narrative is
real quick, man. Speaking of Paleo Hebrew, man, we're teaching Paleo Hebrew etymology. It's the Paleo Hebrew alphabet and the Paleo Hebrew alphabet's meaning. Each individual letter is called Learn with Isaiah. If you go on the Google and you type Learn Paleo Hebrew PDF, right, it's going to give you a listing. And one of them top listings is Learn the Paleo Hebrew Alphabet with Isaiah, authored by yours truly, Brother Ox Recall, the Recall House Publications. You can get your copy on Amazon right now. We're going to be releasing the digital edition soon, so you can do it on your tablet and you can do the exercises over and over. But this way you'll be able to learn to write the Paleo Hebrew alphabet, and you'll be able to learn to memorize it, and you'll understand the meaning of it. So when we start to go to learn Paleo Hebrew or learn Hebrew, you already have the etymology burned into your mind. Go ahead and get you a copy of that. I'm throwing the link of that in the chat right now. $17.99. Support the ministry that way too if it's on your heart. And make sure you already have a copy that you leave a comment.
Hey, look, if you're not subscribed to the Fire God main page, you make sure you go over there and subscribe. We need to get that page's subscriptions up. We're trying to get those subscriptions up on that page to at least 2,000. So go over there and help us with that, family. I will be live back on regular schedule. I had a little health issue, family, that I had to deal with over the last week, but all praise to the Heavenly Father. I'm just about 100% healed up, so I'll be back to it. We're going to take some smoke on Tuesday, and I got a fire lesson coming for y'all on Thursday too. All right, so y'all look out for that. Yeah, and hey, a quick promo. Look, on Tuesday, any Christians who want to come over, anybody want to come over and prove to me and my young hitter, Brother Yeshaya, prove to us that some of these commandments in the Torah aren't racist. Anybody. All right? Moment you want to come through, come on through. Bring Reggie with you.
Anybody in the chat want to prove it right now?
That's right. Anybody in the chat? Hold on. We can get a little smoke right now. I got a few more minutes. All right. Prove to me that some of these laws in the Torah are not racist. All right.
That'd be nice.
All right. So, hey, while I'm up here, if you feeling brave, you feeling froggy, come on and jump. Real quick, man. All right. I might get the powerful soldier up here, man, to walk you down. All right, if you don't come correct. All right. But let's continue.
he got 12 sons. He has one daughter. His daughter's name is Dinah. He allows his daughter Dinah, and the Canaanite man allows his daughter Dinah to do what? Marry Dinah, right? That's Genesis 34. Now, understanding that, if you have to convert in order to marry, there's no conversion that's said there. The sons are upset about it because they're mad that
He just did him so so dirty with that point, right? This guy's nuts. So acting like Moses had to convert to some heathen God, you know what I mean? Some God that's not the Most High, just because he married his daughter. It's ridiculous. On his face.
Facts.
Come on, man.
they don't want this to happen, but the pops has no problem with it because there's nothing inherently wrong with it, right? So there's no,
You're lying.
there's, oh, okay, show it to me.
Shechem raped
Oh,
Dinah.
my
Then
God.
the brothers went and killed Shechem and all the other Canaanites. You want to pull up the Bible?
No,
Because
Shechem.
Oh, wait. Did he say that they raped her? No, they didn't.
Yeah.
Boy, Lord in Christ.
Just his imagination running away with him.
No, they was mad that really that Pop let it happen and that she did it and they just couldn't deal with it. That's why Simeon and Levi was so mad. Not that she got raped, okay? Not that she got raped. She didn't get raped, okay? Let's continue. This guy's nuts. So, hey, shout out to Roxy from the tribe of Judah, right? Shout out to you for that $2 super chat. I appreciate you there, sis.
The water for that family. The water.
Come on, let's
To prove it,
Shechem didn't.
Shechem raped Dinah,
no,
and then her brothers went and killed him and all the other Canaanites.
No. Again, so Shechem lay with
All the other Canaanites.
I got it in my pocket. I teach this. I teach this. Now hold on. Now let's
You'll
say
destroy me unequivocally if you just read it.
No, let's say Shechem raped Dinah,
He
right?
did.
Okay, cool. So did he make her convert to the religion?
He raped her.
Did he make her convert to a religion? Did her father consent to converting her to a religion?
He had to rape her to
you
convert her?
just said in order for them to get married, they have to
Bro,
convert.
you brought up an example that ain't even related to what you're talking
No,
about.
it is.
How does someone raping somebody involve conversion for marriage?
Because they got married.
Okay, go.
They got
So
married.
why did her brother kill
Because
all
they
these
didn't
people
like
who were
it.
involved?
Because they didn't like it. Only
Okay,
two of her brothers
okay.
did. Levi and Simeon. We understand
So
that.
why did they kill anybody?
No.
They just were like, we don't like it. Let's kill
because
it.
they don't like it.
Absolutely, that's what the book said. It said they didn't like it. They didn't like that heathen sleeping with getting with their sister.
You know what I'm saying? I do the same thing.
Right? If my sister, if I had a sister, which I do have a sister, but we're not close, right? So I don't want people to be like Azariah tripping. We're not close. We didn't grow up together, right? But if I had a sister I grew up with, and know what I know now is some Edomite or some Moabite, bro, was with my sister, I'd be hot as fire.
You know what I'm saying?
I might want to body him. Like, yo, nah, bro, this dude not know. He's not good enough to be with my sister.
You know what?
And this damn man is a dog.
His brothers just need to come to class.
Really?
It was against their father, and their father cursed them for it.
Okay.
So you mean to tell me it was a rape, but the father cursed their sons for getting retaliated?
It was a rape.
What says to that?
It was a rape.
But again, where is now? They got married after that. Where is the conversion?
All right.
Where's the conversion?
Look, go.
Now, part two, was Moses married to Jethro before or after the
Was he
burning
married
bush?
to his daughter?
Was he married with Jethro's daughter before or after the burning bush?
You know what? I think after.
No, it was.
I mean before.
Yeah, it was before. So your point. That's another new point that you made. So
no,
now
it's not a new point.
Yes, it is.
It's not a new point.
Yes, it is a
Who
new point.
was the God
Yes,
that
it is a
Jethro
new
was the
point.
priest to?
Not Yahweh, not the Tetragrammaton. Show it to me.
So
pull
go
up
ahead.
the Bible. Show me where Joseph worshipped, where Jethro worshipped the
He ain't gonna prove not one fucking thing.
Most High. Show it to me.
It doesn't tell you who Jethro worshipped.
Okay, so you're making a definitive
But
statement.
why-
You're making a
why
definitive
would the
declarative
Most
statement. No,
High-
stop that.
Okay,
You're
go
making a
ahead. You got
definitive
it.
declarative statement about the God
I'm
that was
making a
worshipped.
definitive.
That was God that was worshipped by Jethro,
Yes.
who lived in a region where they
Yes.
worshipped the pantheon of deities, none of which is the patron
The
deity of the
Israelites
Israelites.
lived in the same region. The Israelites had a pantheon of deities as well.
No, Midian is
They
not
were
the
all Canaanites.
Midian is not the same region
Are
as Canaan.
Israelites Canaanites?
Hold on.
Let me ask you a question. Are Israelites Canaanites?
Not linearly, but historically they're
Not
regarded
linearly.
as so.
You became bro.
He said not literally. No, he said not linearly because the Israelites are called Canaans because they dwelled in the land of Canaan.
Mm-hmm.
They have
Most of the time, you can be rendered in history based on sometimes on the land that you dwelt in, right? When when they may not be clear. So yes, they dwelt in the land of Canaan,
and they spoke the language of Canaan. So that's why
right?
they're called Canaanites. He's making it just seem like there's some serial killers that just killed all their family members and shit.
Yeah, that's what he's saying. Like the Israelites was just a bunch of psychotic serial killers just roaming around the Levant, killing everything. You know what I mean? Like, come on, man. Right?
Yeah.
But he would never say that about the current white man, though. I bet you he wouldn't say that. Because what has he done?
Right.
He's went around the whole globe using the sword, the modern day sword, the gun, and the missile, right? To conquer and put the whole world in subjection. He's a murderous maniac and force his religion on them. His culture.
A little bit too.
Right? Why is the Moabite Chinese man when he come to a business meeting wearing a suit and a tie, not his ancient Moabite garb? Hello?
Watch when they start talking about that. Watch that because is the white man the devil is one of the topics. Let's let this roll a little bit further before we interject again. I'm gonna close out and maybe an hour.
Hey, I was about to tell you too. I'm actually a minute or two over. I gotta go. I was supposed to wrap at 5:45.
That's why you guys gotta go subscribe to that Fire God main channel, man, and get with the captain. I put the links in the chat, so y'all gotta click the links, man. Get with that brother when he edifying because he goes in.
Con. Hey, like I said, I'll be back next week on the main page. We looking for some smoke on Tuesday. So any Christians or anybody want to come through and prove to me that these commandments in the Torah are not racist, we taking all takers. And then Thursday, I got a special surprise fire lesson on deck for y'all. All right.
Hey, you heard her here first, folks.
That's right. Kai, with that, I'm gonna say call on Yahawashi, hamashiach, and Yahawashi, and Shalom family.
Bashem Yahawashi, Shalom.
You don't even understand your own religion.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
They didn't become
yes, I
Israelite.
do.
Wait,
just because you're loud doesn't make you right, Brandon. Just because you're loud doesn't make you right, bro.
Let me ask you a question. When did the Israelites become Israelites?
When they came out of their father Jacob's nuts and was shot into their mother's womb. That's when they became an Israelite. Israelite means descendant of Israel. Jacob's name was changed to Israel. That's when they became Israelites.
Untrue.
Okay. What does the word Israelite mean? What does it mean? Break it down. Break down the suffix and the prefix. What does it mean?
Listen, let me
break it down.
Let me
explain this. Tell me what Israelite means.
I'm going straight.
What does the word mean?
I'm going straight from the Bible.
What does the word mean?
I'm going straight from the Bible.
Israelite. What does the word mean? What does the word mean? Tell me.
Let me get a word.
Yeah, I need to know. I'm asking you a question. What does Israelite mean?
I asked you a question. You did not.
What does Israelite mean? You don't know.
Now I'm going to give you the answer.
You don't know. Thank you. Go ahead.
Listen. Anyway. These people did not become chosen people of the Most High until they camped out at Mount Sinai. Moses went up the mountain, talked to the Most High.
We know that.
He came down. They slaughtered the bulls. He read the covenant to them. They agreed to the covenant. Then he sprinkled blood on them. That's when they became Israelites.
No, show me in the Bible where it says that became Israelites. Because you don't know what the word Israelite even means.
I know exactly what Israelite
mean. What does it mean?
I'm not answering you because you
don't know. You don't know. You don't know. Thank you for telling us you don't know.
Define it first, though. What's an Israelite?
Israelite is simple. Israel is the prefix because there's a man whose name is Jacob, whose name was changed to Israel.
Israel,
Ite means descendant of. Israelite means descendant of Israel. There's not a ritual that can happen to make somebody then descendant of somebody. You either are their descendant or you are not their descendant. They're called the Israelites. They're reckoned as the Israelites. They're reckoned as the children of Israel before that ritual occurs on Sinai, period.
I'm going to explain. No, wait. Let me explain this to you. Can he not interrupt me?
Sure.
Okay, look. Israelites were not just people who descended from Jacob. When the Israelites left Egypt, they left in what's called a mixed multitude or a mixed company. There were even Egyptians who converted to worship of the Most High and left Egypt with the Israelites. That's in, I think, Exodus 12:38, somewhere in there. When they came to the bottom of that Mount Sinai, there were people of all races at that bottom of that mountain. They were not just descendants of Jacob. That is why Moses slaughtered the bulls and made those people enter into a covenant with the Most High to validate them as Israelites. When he sprinkled that blood, they all became Israelites. Okay? Later on in the Bible, it tells you. Later on in the Bible, it tells you that people are not just Israelites or Jews of the flesh. It talks about the heart. It even has people who were not Israelites who converted over and became Israelites. I'll give you a prime example. There's a guy named Caleb. That guy was a Kizanite. He wasn't an Israelite. Why was that guy one of the leaders in the tribe of Judah? His tribe.
I'm not a Judite.
They'll tell you, well, they all say tribe of Judah.
They'll
tell you the only way you could be an Israelite or a Hebrew Israelite is if you're black. It's not true because many people, let's look at Ruth. You ever heard of the story of Ruth and Naomi?
Yeah.
She was a Moabite. And she's directly in the line of lineage for Jesus. Okay. You heard of Rahab, the prostitute? She was a Canaanite. She's also directly in the line of lineage for Jesus. They posture on this idea that unless you're black, you can't be an Israelite. But if you go through the Old Testament, you see many people who are not Hebrews or Israelites, as they would tell you, which they're really just Canaanites. They were all up and through that lineage. They were all mixed in. Look at Moses' wife. She wasn't an Israelite. So it's constant mixing, constant intermarrying, but now because they want to use it as a way to like make themselves seem better than everybody, now all of a sudden it's this like racially distinct thing. It's never been that. It's never going to be that. All through your history that you think exists in the Bible, it's mixing, race mixing.
I would love to debate this nigga. Moderated though. There's no way I would have a back and forth with this nigga. But I would love to debate him about this topic moderated because I would just love to just completely drag his face in his own bullshit. This is madness. Okay, so women are mentioned when it comes to Yahawashi's lineage. Fine. But he doesn't understand Israelite culture. This is always going to be a go-to for the Israelites. Numbers 1 and 18 when it comes to how to establish patrilineage. And you look at books like Ezra, where it tells you we still follow that methodology in tracking whose father is who and who's from what tribe, who is of Israel and who's not, because that's just how it's done. The seed don't come from a woman. So the seed line is not affected by a woman. Just like an apple seed, a seed line is not affected by the soil that is put in. It's the seed, period. You can splice things genetically and play little games that way, but that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about a man laying with a woman, putting his seed in different soils. Your argument is retarded. It's the type of niggas still don't know where babies come from.
I know you thought you ate, brother, but you would first have to understand my position before you get combative. So you said a whole bunch of stuff that was pointless, right? It doesn't matter what women were involved. A lineage is dealing with man to man, right? So we understand that.
That's not true. Jewish lineage just passed through the mom.
Yeah, that's Jewish lineage. That's not what the Torah prescribes.
So you're not Judean.
Hold on. Does the Torah prescribe that?
You're not.
Hold on. Does the Torah prescribe that? I've never claimed to be the tribe of Judah.
Okay, you're a Levi, so you're a priest.
1,000%.
I thought you were a prophet.
I'm a priest and a prophet.
Okay. I thought Levites were the priest class.
Priests and prophets.
I don't remember it saying prophet class.
Wait, was Moses a prophet?
Moses was a prophet.
Was he a Levite?
Moses was the leader. He was the head guy.
Okay.
He brought y'all all out. Yeah, he was a prophet.
And he's a prophet and a priest because he's a Levite. His brother Aaron, a prophet and a priest. Again. So now
I know Aaron was a priest.
So
I know Aaron was a priest.
So now,
can you tell me a prophecy that Aaron gave?
Please allow me to respond. So now he said he used a mixed multitude. Number one, he's convoluting terms. So he's thinking because people were around the Israelites that made them Israelites. That's not the case. And I have the point. Leviticus 24:10. The son of an Israelitish woman whose father was an Egyptian went out among the children of Israel. So this person had a patrilineage that was not that of Israel. It was Egyptian. He was among the children of Israel, but because he was among the children of Israel, that shows us that he wasn't actually considered an Israelite. Hold on. Leviticus 24:10. He was not considered an Israelite. So yes, were there people who were not children of Israel or Jacob who?
You know what I'm saying? That's it's very crazy the predicament that we're in, Roxy, because the implications are they're so vast when it comes to what it means if we're the chosen people of God. So much responsibility comes with that, and so much fighting comes with that. A lot of brothers want to believe that all the fighting is over unless it comes down to fighting with each other and shit, but they want to believe that the worst of it is over. We're almost integrated with the white man, but the Bible, it puts us smack dab in the middle of a story where the climax is just on the horizon. And, brothers don't know what to make of what that means for them in their current lifestyle. So it's definitely going to provoke people to kind of shatter down the middle. Do I want to stay here? Do I want to get out of here? And a lot of brothers just can't get out of that little space right there. Fight or flight, right? A lot of people freeze right in the middle and just freeze up. You ever seen somebody get their ass beat and they don't even swing back? Right? That's because fight or flight has betrayed them. The adrenaline just overwhelms them. That's the position that a lot of Black, Hispanics, and Native Americans are in when they are met with the information that they are the Israelites. So then they just come up against us, but they don't swing. They can't really conjure up a heavy enough swing, and they just get smacked around like this, stuck on stupid. Cognitive dissonance, as the cat brought out earlier.
Were amongst, certainly were there people who were procreated with who were amongst, certainly.
Big Cat with the super chat, the water brother.
No one ever said that, right?
Flacco.
So everything he said, what he is championing right now is his ability to build straw men and attack straw men, but to never actually, you would have to actually engage a point that I'm making. You're not eating, bro.
All right, let me explain this to you. This is the mind game they play with people who are not familiar with the Bible. When they gathered at the bottom of that mountain, they all entered into a covenant, into an agreement with the Most High. They didn't take out the kids whose daddy was an Egyptian.
Did I say that? No. I never said that.
What I'm telling you,
straw man again.
Right, so since
straw man king. Straw man king.
You gotta interrupt me. You
were sitting there begging when I was just talking right now. Straw man king. Let me know when you gonna talk to me, bro.
Okay. So look, boy, you interrupt me. He interrupt me every time.
Let me know when you gonna talk to me.
Anyway, they've lost this conversation many times. Look. When they entered into the covenant with the Most High at the bottom of Mount Sinai, the Most High didn't say separate all the kids who had Egyptian daddies. He didn't even say separate the Egyptians. He let everybody who was in the mix decide whether or not they wanted to become Israelites.
Nah, he's not dumb. He just doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. There's a major difference for sure. He still know what the fuck he's talking about. This is not the topic for him to discuss in this matter. He should sit in a classroom somewhere and shut the hell up. Soldier Yeshaya in the building. Shalom to that, brother.
And Moses read the agreement. It was like a contract. Do you agree to do all this? They said everything that is written, we agree to do, right? He threw the blood on all of them. And at that moment, they all became Israelites. Now, if this
Show me where it says at that moment they all became Israelites. Book chapter verse.
the covenant.
No, show me where it says they became Israelites. When did they become Israelites?
That is when they entered the covenant with the Most High.
Two different
So
things.
if this guy tells you that you are not an Israelite because you're not black or you're not a specific lineage, then that means that the covenant that those people
you're not black.
at the bottom of Mount Sinai in the second month of them living from Egypt.
He called black a lineage. This is nuts. It's an echo. I don't know where it's coming from, to be honest. Let me see. How about now? Is it still an echo? Is it still an echo now?
That means that covenant is null and void. And this is what you
No,
guys
it doesn't.
do. You go.
No,
listen,
it doesn't.
There's a scripture in the Bible. I think it's at Matthew, the 23rd chapter. It says, you guys have placed yourselves in the position of Moses. See, Moses is the one who got the commandments and came down and told them to the people. They kick Moses out the way and they make up their own rules. Because if you go to as Exodus, the 12th chapter, you go to verse 23. You literally can read, verse 38, you can literally read, and let me pull this out because I had a note.
Yeah, as the 1238 says, and a mixed multitude went up also with them, and flocks and herds, even very much cattle.
Okay, so then when you talk about the mixed multitude, that's who all left Egypt with them, right? So they left. It wasn't just exclusively Hebrews. It was a bunch of different people from a bunch of different places. So when they got to the bottom of that mountain, that would be at Exodus 19. They camped at Mount Sinai. First thing he told them is, don't have no sex. That means they was having a lot of sex within that group. So it was a lot of women getting pregnant, a lot of dudes who wasn't necessarily Hebrews impregnated. First thing he said is abstain from sex. Then Moses came down, Exodus 24th chapter, verse 6 through 8. He literally asked them, did they want to join this covenant with the Most High? Before that, there was only the promise that was given to Abraham, right? But the people still had to agree to be in the covenant. That's why they were brought out of Egypt. The Most High talks about it. I brought you out not because you were the greatest among people, but because you were the smallest. But he did make a contract with them. Everyone who was there when he made that contract, they were considered an Israelite. So that alone.
Can you show me where it says they were considered an Israelite? No, show me where it says they were considered an Israelite.
I want you to read the scripture.
I'm going to show you where you're wrong. I got it. Don't worry about it.
I want you to read
this. No, I want you to read it.
I want you to
You're making the claim. You read the claim.
Semantics.
Did he just make a claim?
Bro,
make the claim. Prove the claim.
Not semantics, nigga. Prove it with a scripture. It's not semantics. It's produce your argument. You can say something's in the Bible, or you can prove something's in the Bible. He will not prove shit. He's literally not proving shit. This nigga is very hard to listen to. He's like listening to a very hormonal teenage girl argue. No offense, but this is crazy. It's not even entertaining no more.
That they were Israelites. Prove it.
This is all they got. They got to try to interpret their own thing. If someone enters into a contract
you just interpreted
with you,
it.
right?
That's what you're doing.
Say you sign a contract, and my wife is here and she signs it as well, right?
Filibuster.
Imagine someone coming and saying, show me where it said that this person right here is specifically an Israelite, specifically. No, by this person signing the contract, that means they're a part of the contract, right? If they agree to it and then he puts the blood on them, that means you're in the club.
But when did it say they were Israelites?
Bro, what are you talking about?
Don't worry, I got you. Just whenever you don't run your mouth, I got you.
You got me. Go ahead.
So now he's saying they're Israelites. This is long after this happened. This is Book of Numbers 11:4, and the mixed multitude. They're still being regarded as a mixed multitude apart from the Israelites. So how are the Israelites after this happened if they're still being called a mixed multitude? Now let's keep going. And the mixed multitude that was among them fell a lusting, and the children of Israel also wept again. So separate from them. Now let's skip to the end. Remember, the mixed multitude fell a lusting. Let's go now to verse 34.
What did that have to do with what you're saying?
I want you guys to understand that mixed multitude is not the same mixed multitude that you read about in Exodus. When you look in Exodus, That's a mixed multitude. This is talking about an unruly multitude right here. When you look at the Hebrew there, it's talking about an unruly group. What do they even call it? A defiled group, almost promiscuous, spiritually promiscuous group. So it's people that were murmuring against the Most High, yes, but it was Israelites.
Mixed multitude fella lusting.
If I can only make a point, right?
I'll do you what you the service
that's okay. Verse 34, and he called the name of that place Kibroth Hatava because they had buried the people that lusted. So there was a mixed multitude that was still being regarded as separate from the Israelites, and they fell lusting, and then they buried them because they died. So the mixed multitude didn't even make it out of the wilderness with them. So they were there, they came out of Egypt, they didn't even make it through the journey, they died in the wilderness. So if I could only land my plane, it would be amazing. If I only met, so clear, I just showed that the mixed multitude was still regarded as different, separate from the Israelites, debunking his point, and then they died. They didn't even make it through, so they're irrelevant in 2025. Thank you.
Okay, now I'm going to make a point.
Sure,
this is a scripture that these guys always use. They try to trick people, and I don't know why you got to lie, right, to make a point. The mixed multitude was a specific people within the group. These people were not all the people.
How is a mixed multitude of specific people? How is a mixed multitude of specific people?
Who came out of Egypt with the Israelites. It was a few people.
That?
It was a few people, and there were also Israelites.
Prove it.
What are you talking about?
You're talking.
I could
prove it. Right
listen,
there. Go ahead.
I could
prove it.
Do you
prove
want me
it.
to read you this?
There you go. No, prove it to me where the mixed multitude was only a small, that it wasn't all mixed people. It was only a little bit of people.
Group of people.
Yes,
there were certain people within that, but everybody within the mixed multitude didn't get put to death. There were people who were faithful.
Prove it. I just read it.
I just gave you the example of Caleb.
I'm after that.
Gave you the example of Caleb.
First off, Caleb being
how can you say that Caleb was a part of the mixed multitude, even if you want to say he's from another nation? The nation that he is proposed to have come from is not Egyptian. So what are you talking about?
The Kenizzites joined the Israelites in the wilderness.
No, that's not true.
Oh,
so the Kenizzites.
So how did Caleb's father get into
hold on, number one. No, the Kenizzites that you're trying to. This is what people try to do. They try to superimpose the Canaanites that are in Genesis 19 on Caleb when the Hebrew words are totally different. So
Caleb wasn't a Kenizzite.
No, it's two different Hebrew words. Okay. But again, I just need you to show me where the mixed multitude. Show it to me. There you go. You got it.
You won't prove
You're doing a lot of talking. Show and prove.
I'm gonna show
and prove.
Okay, I'll show you this. I'll show you this.
I already gave you the point.
What is that? A coin purse?
After that point. So go ahead.
I wrote this right here. We can go to the book of Esther right now.
No, why are you jumping?
Bro, because you're...
Why are you jumping?
Because what you're doing...
Why can't you...
We can go to the book of Esther right now. This is amazing, bro. The book of Esther, he's going to just go to where there was a conversion that took place. And he's not going to show where they became Israelites. He's going to show where the people became Yahad, which literally just means converts with regards to religion. And it's not because they believe in the Most High, it's because they're scared of the Jews. This is sick. This is fucking sick. This nigga is crazy. This nigga is he is an angry woman, bro. It's the estrogen and them canned processed foods this nigga eating.
Prove anything I challenge you on directly, you can't deal with. Anything I've challenged you on directly, you have had to display the inability to deal with.
This is all they got. They lost this argument 100 times already. I could just
sure.
all the points and let it be done there.
Notice when I'm referencing, I'm reading
it.
I'm showing it. I haven't referenced anything.
What this guy is doing,
you got to bring me somebody better next time, bro. You got
what this guy is doing is he's playing on the fact that most people are not Bible readers. So he knows if he throws an assertion out there, he knows nobody will be able to say, oh, here's the scripture that disproves this. But what I'm telling you is, when you read the Bible, all you got to do is keep on reading, and you understand that everything this guy is telling you is a total lie. If you read even what Jesus taught, you would know that these guys are making up lies. These are the guys who Jesus was arguing with every day. People who sit up and try to beat people down with the Mosaic Law when they're really supposed to be showing people mercy and teaching people and educating them. But because this is a cult that is built on...
Have you seen me beat somebody up with the Mosaic Law before?
That's all y'all do. I watched you on the internet. That's all you do.
Okay, when did I do that?
That's all Hebrew Israelites do.
Hold on, when did I do that?
Bro,
when did you see me do that?
Listen, you're not just you anymore. You're a Hebrew Israelite. That means you're a part of a big group.
Oh, okay,
hey,
I see.
Flacco, when you see Hebrew Israelites, what they known for doing?
I can't react because the fans are gonna vote on who wins.
That's fine. Okay, well, here's the whole thing. Everyone knows Hebrew Israelites. They know what Hebrew Israelites are known for: standing on the corner, punching down on people. Oh, you an Edomite, you it is, you would add all this other stuff. This guy has to tell you that, oh, the lineage is passed through the father, because probably he got a white mama or something like that, which would disqualify him from even being an Israelite. And I would bet you, if we go on your family tree,
how does it disqualify him from being an Israelite if you could just become an Israelite? Goofy ass nigga, man. This is nuts. I'm about to be done with this. I'm about to scoot forward a little bit. This is crazy.
You got some white in there. I bet somebody in your direct lineage, your parent, one of them is white. If it's your mom, you're not even an Israelite.
Wait.
That's crazy.
No, that's not crazy.
Nigga just said you could become Israelites, and he was about to go to the Book of Esther. I guarantee you, he was going to go to the Book of Esther to show where people of the land became Jews out of fear of the Jews. And now he's saying that you can't be Israelite if you're white. Oh my goodness. Look, man, like, share, and subscribe. Fire God Classroom if you want to join the ministry. Matter of fact, Alazar reacted to this himself. I'm gonna send y'all the link to that because I'm about to be done for the day. There's only so much stupidity that my brain can process. I want you to understand that. But we will be back with more edification in the future. We will be reviewing Pastor Stacy Mobley's rebuke on Captain Azariah. He's gonna debunk Captain Azariah's presentation. So we're gonna tap in and we're gonna look at that, and we're gonna just really bust that down through the spirit and power of Yahawashi. Look, man, we got the FOG shirts that could be in this color. My brother just gotta let me know because I'm gonna do custom orders. You know what I'm saying? So you just gotta try me on that. So you just gotta try me on that. I got you. As for the hoodies, it just be hard to find 100% hoodies because I'm not trying to beat y'all over the head. But them prices is like $40, $50. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to do that to y'all. So when I can find something that's cost effective to give to y'all, I got you. But we got the windbreakers. We got the hats. You know what I'm saying? We got the Fire of God hats. I'm going to get me a couple mock-ups made, see how they turn out, and let y'all get in on those. And then we got these True Jew hats, man. Get you one of these. If you want one of these, I got you on these. One's in the chat if you want some. You know, you could hit the email up, and then when I got them in stock, you could be first to get yours in. I got you. We'll have them in red. We'll have them in black. We'll have them in navy blue. Yeah.
No, passed through the mother.
See, but no. Show me in the Bible where the lineage just passed through the mother.
I'm gonna show you on Google.
No, but
look, man, Cap, you just gotta let me know. You just gotta let me know what you want. I won't necessarily let you be a test subject because it's real fucked up. I would rather eat the cost myself. But look, I got y'all. Right now, it's t-shirts. It's photos, and then y'all just gotta get with me about the colors and the sizes that y'all want, and then we'll go from there. So in the FOG chat, I'll send y'all that information, and then I got some things coming for the civilian population. I got y'all.
The Bible's right there.
I'm gonna show you something in the Bible.
I'm gonna show you in the Bible why you're wrong. Come on.
Man.
Does being white, okay, like, does having a white mom disqualify you from the lineage?
Of course, especially when you say you can only be an Israelite if you're black, which is also not true.
Who said you can only be an Israelite if you're black? Who said that? That's not our point. Again,
listen, man. I'm not a straw man king.
Yes, you are. That's all you've done.
I'm not a straw man king at all. Bro, the whole point, you're arguing this point because you don't want to argue the overarching point where you believe that you got to be black to be saved by God.
I don't believe you have to be black to be saved by God. That's a lie. Is he black? Is he black? Hold on. Is he black?
Not even black.
Okay, fine, but is he black?
Okay, are you?
Nigga, what? I came in the truth 8 whole years ago. That same year I came in the truth. At the end of that year, I joined Sakari. Never on the way to joining Sakari. Not when I watched the throwback videos when I was in training. Never in the fuck ever did this nigga ever say that if you're not black, you're not an Israelite. This is crazy. Never the hell ever. All praises to the Most High. I'm glad you love the hat. Says true Jews in the building. True Jews in the motherfucking building.
You're a Hebrew.
Yeah. Is he black?
I might set up a GoFundMe, man. If y'all want to fund a project from your brother, man, I might set up a GoFundMe for those of you that would be interested in donating for the sake of some Israelite music. It ain't gonna be. It's not gonna be the campy. It's not gonna be the friendly Hebrew Israelite music. So if that's not your cup of tea, I understand. But for those of you that know my intro and my style, if you want to see a full-fledged product, I'm talking about fully produced. I'm talking about you can find it on iTunes. If you want to be a part of helping me get that produced, I might set up a GoFundMe account for that. You know what I'm saying? But all my funds right now, they go towards the ministry. So it's hard for me to allocate that direction when I really care about pushing forth the word. So books, things like that, that's what I'm investing in. But if you want something like this, let me know. I'll set up a GoFundMe.
You were children of the Most High, but ye shall die like men and fall like one of the princes. Arise, O God, and judge the earth, for thou shalt inherit all nations. Come.
King Corn beats be killing shit.
We was powers on this earth once, and we was all about the mirth once. Idol worship, murder like the first of the month. Hit a nigga with the bick like he need a light. That's what you do when you on fourth, or else you got a punt. But we ain't needed when we cry for eating flesh, nah. So it's Egypt that we got, and we hella mad. These crackers soaring off our shoulders like some helipads. They see our sweat, but they don't feel us like we holograms. I'll be damned, another black man shot again. They deflect and tell us we our own ops again. Never mind that daughter grown without their pops again. And never mind the weight placed on that new single mom. Her big bro trying to help out any way he can. Now you smoking on that Marley trying to keep him calm. And plus he sell it, he gon' help if it take every gram.
There is an evil which I have seen under the sun, as in the error which proceeded from the ruler. Folly is set in great dignity, and the rich sit in a low place. I've seen servants upon horses, and princes walking as servants upon the earth. And what shall we say then?
By this beat today.
We was powers on this earth once. No question who the owner of this turf was. Turf wars against Cain until Yahweh crushed us. But we forsook the holy covenant like we ain't won them. So when the nations rose against us, bro, we ain't won it. Shit out of luck until Yahawashi and wondered. Living foul like a chicken headed for the bucket. The wages sin without him, that is all we stuck with. We used to stash pounds and gadgets we could steal your stuff with. Far as my brain, it was wickedness that used to stuff it. The stuff of nightmares was me and my kin. Just a product of.
Enough of that. That's not what we're here for, man. That's enough of that. That's enough of that. But yeah, man, there's plenty more where that came from. I'm not gonna toot my horn too much, but I got bars and everything. I could be very lyrical, but I'm very competitive. So your favorite rapper, I might have to but I think it's good. I think it's good because we can further our art form. And the way I like to do it, I like to talk about my testimony from a perspective of somebody who has endeavored to come up out of the world. I like to share that struggle, that perspective. I don't like the too polished music, the too holier than thou music. It sounds corny to me. I don't want to hear niggas rhyme ruach and shalom and Yahawashi over and over and over and over again. I think that you could do a bigger credit in really showing just how deeply ingrained this walk is in you, you know what I'm saying, and how it plays in your life, and how it plays in your ministry when you're on the street corners. But it's something that sounds real corny to me sometimes. So I want to do something a little bit different. So if you guys is interested, I might just create a GoFundMe or something like that, and y'all can contribute to that for music's sake. And then I can wait until those funds are accumulated, while everything else that you guys send just goes towards the ministry. I don't want to get that conflated. So you guys let me know what you think in the actual comments when the video posts, not the live. But if you want to GoFundMe, let me know. I'll set it up. But what I want y'all to do, man, I'm getting you the link for Alizar himself doing the review of this discussion. I'm sure he's gonna go into more depth, but I want y'all to make sure that you click this link and you go watch it there. If you want to support the ministry, man, make sure that you like, share, and that you subscribe. You can also do so via Cash App at $Osh $Osh. You can also contact us at Gmail at fireguideclassroom@gmail.com if you want to join the ministry. We need boots on the ground in every city. We're getting you brothers raised up, right? We ain't gonna just throw you out there to the wolves lacking and unready. We're gonna make sure that we get you, make sure you're upright, make sure that you walk in uprightly before we get you on the street corners. Okay. Let me see. He said, I'm not gonna lie, I stopped listening to music years ago, but we need a decent music we can get. We all need decent. Yeah, that's a fact. Jadakiss was one of my favorites back in the day. As far as the East Coast goes, Jadakiss was one of my favorites back in the day. Ghostface Killer was one of my favorites back in the day, but outside of that, it's mainly West Coast rappers. Mainly West Coast I listen to. He said, what you think about having a live open about all Israelites that found the truth in their testimony? That's something that I definitely want to do. I want to start an interview series and actually interview brothers live. When I can get my maneuvering the way I want it. But that's definitely something I want to get around to doing. I like Nas too, man. Nas was dope with the storytelling, but then he would kill me with his other verses because it would seem like he would just go off topic. Nas was a ranter, and I like that. But I'm not gonna lie. I started to like Nas more late in the game when he dropped Ether. Then I started to go backwards and listen to his shit even more after that. I've heard a couple tracks from Annabelle the Servant. There's one brother I like the most. Man, I can't never remember his name, but Yeshaya, you know who I'm talking about. Hezekiah right now. Aside from me, I think Hezekiah is the best Israelite rap artist or artist. And there's a group that had a song that was pretty dope. It kind of sounded like some Israelite gospel. But yeah, man. Let me see. We're gonna do some Q&A. But make sure that y'all take heed of this link. This is Gorilla Hebrews link. Go tell that brother Shalom. Go tell that brother he did a mighty job, man. Let them know I sent you. Shout out to Deacon. Deacon got some bars, man. I'm not gonna lie. That's my brother. That's my brother right there. Seattle member. Uncut Gems, man. That's my favorite Israelite song. That's my favorite Israelite song, is that Uncut Gems. That's my favorite Israelite song. I'll tell you what though, I think Deacon got a big ass catalog, that's for sure. Deacon, I don't know if anybody's gonna be able to nobody's gonna be able to do a verses with Deacon, I don't think. But then again, I still listen to worldly music. I still listen to Mozzie and shit like that, to be honest. Keeps me grounded with where I come from. But let's do some Q&A. Questions in the chat. I'm gonna give it 30 seconds. Put your questions in the chat. We'll do a little bit of Q&A. And 30 seconds for anybody to come up and catch a little. There we go. Boom. Boom. Let me see. What we got in here? Let me see. Let me see. Hella music. I got y'all started about the music. Who's the king of the South in the book of Daniel? I actually don't even know. I don't know. That's a Captain Azariah question, to be frank. But that's a good question. Make sure you tap in with Captain Azariah. He might got that for you. If we don't got it, we'll get it. Yeah, I used to like that battle rap shit. Like if I wasn't listening to actual West Coast music, I'd listen to battle rap. So, I listen to brothers from Philly, and brothers from the East Coast do a battle rap thing, and then I listen to a little bit of a little Jadakiss. One of my favorite battle rappers back in the day was Reed Dollars. This nigga said, "Oh, you want to play the family man? Shoot up the family van." Classic. Oh my God. Sister Roxy said, "Are women allowed to study with FOG?" As it stands, sister, we are opening up classes pretty soon that will be for the entire public. And at that point, sisters will be able to come and study with FOG as well. Right now, the classes are for FOG members, brothers who want to become FOG members and their direct family members. But I assure you, if you stick with us, there's going to be a lot on the horizon. It's going to be very important for us to get the edification out for the sisters. But right now, I'm trying to find ways to open up my schedule so I can do more of that. Man, his brother said didn't want to see Murder Mook. Murder Mook was crazy. Murder Mook, it was Murder Mook and D Miles. That was my favorite battle. I would listen to that battle over and over again. There was one that was fairly recent. It was what's the nigga name? King Los in Daylight. That shit was crazy. My bars be like my bars be like Daylights shit sometimes. As you'll hear, I have niggas cracking open dictionaries and all kind of shit. But it look like we ain't got no more questions. Cassidy was cool. Ask about me. Cassidy. I didn't like him that much though. I like my favorite thing from him was when he was battling himself. If you a star, I'm a galaxy, nigga. Ask about me. Oh my God. Yahawashi. Remember he came into the truth. I remember Chingy came into the truth. Supposedly he had the King Judah song. Who know about that? I don't know about that. But that's it for me, family. Click this link. Look, click this link. Go see Chief at the Chief Dome. Tell that brother that I sent you. Let me know in the comments if you guys want to contribute to a GoFundMe. I'm going to set one up. And I promise I'll get y'all some quality music, a couple singles here and there. I've been writing some shit for a minute for y'all too. That being said, though, I appreciate y'all for joining me, family. We're going to give all praises, all honor, and glory to the Most High in the name of His Son, Yahawashi. And with that, Shalom.
We was powers on this earth once, and we was all about the mirth once. Idol worship, murder like the first of the month. Hit a nigga with the bick like you need a light. That's what you do when you on fourth, or else you got a punt. But we ain't needed when we cry for Egypt flesh, nah. So it's Egypt that we got, and we hella mad. These crackers soaring off our shoulders like some helipads. They see our sweat, but they don't feel us like we holograms.
Wait, hold on. I was about to dip. I wanted to share something with y'all, man. I don't like some of y'all don't know who your brother Yahawashi is, man. So I wanna acquaint y'all with who I am, brother, and how I do things. You know, I started with the Sakari, doing the work. Ended up venturing out on my own. Out of it seemed to be a necessity at the time. But I want to show you something, because me about this word, I'll transplant to a whole nother city and do the work by myself if I have to. You feel me? I'll transplant to a whole nother city and do the work by myself if I have to. I'm gonna show you what happened on my first day in Dallas. Me and my rep moved to Dallas for a few years. This is what happened on my first day at camp in Dallas. You know what I'm saying? They didn't understand. I was coming from Gotham City, so they didn't understand what was about to befall them when they approached me. But it was this old Eater cracker. Where he at, man? His video is in the intro, and that's what made me want to show you. But it's hilarious. Where he at, man? Bear with me, y'all. Bear with me. Almost there. Where's this old cracker at? A little bit further. Let me just go. Content. I'm gonna go boom. Don't go yet. Oh, this is a classic right here. This is not the one. But I don't play about y'all, family.
And as a device meant to install what's been labeled white supremacy in the earth. Right? What a better way than to get the black man to worship a white image. Now his God is the same one that's whipping his back, the same one that is allowing systemic racism to continue so that they can keep their place in the earth. And guess what? The closer and closer you get to that truth as blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, the closer you get to escaping that thing. You can't change the reality without changing yourself. Let me get the book of Deuteronomy 28:1. The book of Deuteronomy 20. Thumbs down, quiet down. How about that? You live up there? You shouldn't be allowed to live here. This is stolen land, ain't it? Why should I give a damn about you being comfortable in a high rise that you built on my ancestors' bones? Yeah. What tribe? The tribe doesn't matter. I'm also a black man. How about that? I'm also a black man. How about that? It's also built on the bones of black men. So now you have an argument that just doesn't stand true. And just so you know, Cherokee and Blackfoot Indian are what are prominent on my mother's side of the family. If you want a further history lesson, why don't you come across the street so I can hear you? And don't let get you beat up. I'll tell you that right now. But get Deuteronomy 28:1 while they're making their raggedy ass way over here.
The book of Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, the first verse. And it shall come to pass that thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord.
Watch out. I said, watch out.
I will talk to you.
Get your girl out of here. Get her back, and she can speak with her mouth, but keep her hands to her damn self.
Turn off.
Because you're gonna be the one that inherit the problems if she touch any of our property.
That book has nothing to do with
Call 911. Call 911.
Yeah,
There you go. Why don't you stand here and do it? You're not gonna call 911 because there's nothing wrong with us being here, upholding our rights according to the goddamn Constitution. Now go ahead and give me that Deuteronomy 28.
You take the book of Deuteronomy, the 28th.
The Lord's name in vain is what's the Lord's name? What's the Lord's name?
Who do you think God?
The Lord's name is Yahweh. The Lord's name is not God. Christ said, "Ye are gods." When he referred to the Israelites, did he not? Did Christ say, "Ye are gods"? Plural. Did Christ say, "Ye are gods"?
Christ quoted the Bible in Hebrew.
And it says, "Ye are gods." It says Elohim. That's a plural word. Right. So God's name is not going to be gods.
It is God. It's Yahweh. It's Allah.
It's Yahweh. And to say the name of God is not using his name in vain. It's to say, I come in the name of God if God didn't send you. Like you, for example. You don't know nothing about God, so therefore you should stay out of godly business. Now what we're going to do is bring out the word of the Lord, and you can like I advised you earlier.
The book of Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, the first.
Hold on, man. While it's good to be back home, man, I miss the social Yeshaya, man. But them Dallas streets are interesting. Where this is it right here. I found it. This is my first day in Dallas. This is my first day in Dallas. And this is how I want to train brothers up to stand boldly in the streets. This is how I want to train brothers up to stand boldly in the streets. You don't gotta be crazy like me. You don't gotta be loud. Woo.
Slaughter for your children for the iniquity of your fathers.
That's a lovely thing to
find
say.
somebody else to talk
That's
to.
a lovely
Because we
thing
talk
to
about
say.
the truth.
I have children sleeping up there.
Well, guess what? I
But
have
you
some
don't care about
earplugs
anybody
or
but
some
yourself.
earmuffs.
You don't care
No,
about
I care
anybody
about
but
myself
yourself.
and I care about my people. I care about the
You're
black
fucking
man.
rude.
I care about the Hispanic
Fucking
man.
rude.
And I care about the Native American man.
fucking rude.
You can go and fuck yourself.
Yeah, that's what I
Right?
expected.
I care about the black man, I care about the Hispanic man, and I care about the Native American man. And I care about the injustices that were done right here on the borders of this land, which is still Mexico as far as I'm concerned. Your ancestors have stolen, they have killed, and they have destroyed. I don't care. I do not care. You guys had a part in the slave trade too. You guys were the first overseers and the first policemen, and what you did was patrol the plantations and make sure the slaves wasn't getting away. You the goddamn bottom feeders of the white man, and you still the devil the Bible speaks of, and I don't give a damn about your 2-year-old sleeping. I'm reading the gospel, and that's what you're going to hear up here. Now, I'm going to be back at peace telling my people that I would not be ignorant how that all our fathers were the ones that were baptized in Moses. And this is why we subject to this type of wrath. He feels like he could get some type of sympathy or empathy from me because his 2-year-old up there sleeping in a building that was built on top of my ancestors' bones. He don't care about that though. He don't care about the dead bodies of the Native American man laying here, the so-called Hispanic man laying here. He don't care about the fact that he done violated every peace treaty that they ever made with the so-called indigenous man. And so because he don't care about that, I got to come out here and voice that and show that I care about it and teach my people that you don't give a damn about nobody but yourself. How you doing, brother, man? I love you, man. We out here for you to teach you that you the Israelite the Bible speaks of. You know about that? All praises. What tribe you from? I need you up here. I'm about to go eat, man. You about to go eat?
Man, Jake always about to go eat. Jake always about to go eat, man. Jake always about to go eat. Look, man. But yeah, man, I just wanted to share that with you. I'm not the best. I'm not the best, but join the ministry. We will get you trained up, man. And you could do your thing in the streets. You could have your part in the ministry. We'll be happy to have you. fireguideclassroom@gmail.com. Make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. That being said, now we can really get up out of here. Shalom, family.
We was powers on this earth once, and we was all about the mirth once. Idol worship, murder like the first of the month. Hit a nigga with the bick like he need a light. That's what you do when you on fourth, or else you got a punt. But we ain't needed when we cry for Egypt's flesh, nah. So it's Egypt that we got, and we hella mad. These crackers soaring off our shoulders like some helipads. They see our sweat, but they don't feel us like we holograms. I'll be damned, another black man shot again. They deflect and tell us we are on.